Welcome back to the Gabba. Toss of the coin, two captains, Jonathan Brown and Dominic Cassisi. Dominic Cassisi with that bandage from last week, and Port Adelaide ball kick left of screen here in the opening term. 7th versus 9th on the AFL ladder. Big game for both clubs as we head back downstairs. Lee Colbert.
Thanks, Dwayno. Absolutely beautiful conditions here tonight at the Gabba. It's warm, it's hot, it's going to be a great night for footy. Who's going to play on Jonathan Brown? Will it be Chaplin? Will it be Corns, as Lynchy predicted in the pre-game? I just think there's a little twist in this. Maybe Toby Thurston's will get a chance on him as well, and it'll allow Chaplin to roll off. But there's so much to play for and a hell of a lot on the line.
Yes, Toby Thurston's one of the ins for Port Adelaide this week. Good crowd here at the Gabba tonight. Fine conditions, as Lee Colbert said. And the Brisbane Lions can finish as high as 5th and get themselves a home elimination final from 5th or 6th. Can't finish 4th. Now the Brisbane Lions, they're out of reach of 4th spot and the double chance. Port Adelaide, they could be in the 8 tonight if they win. Essendon still to play Fremantle tomorrow. Essendon a half a game ahead of Port Adelaide as it stands right now.
Colby thinks that Chaplin will be playing on Brown. There's a reasonable chance that he knows he doesn't miss much down there on the boundary line, so I think he's probably infiltrated the Port Adelaide coach's box, and he's all over it.
Justin Lepage, Wayne Britton, Michael Voss, very experienced campaigners. Captain Jonathan Brown, sole captain, of course. They did have the 5 captaincy system under Lee Matthews. Michael Voss has changed that. And well, Damien Hardwick, we're sitting in that coach's box next year. Former Demons coach Peter Rode, Jason Cripps, Mark Williams, of course. And we're not far from getting underway.
A bit happening off the ball at both ends of the ground. Plenty of bumping. See Ash McGrath and Warren Treadray.
Well, that's just the usual pre-match entertainment.
Yeah, a little bit.
They bump into each other and you'll see who wants to bite.
Ash McGrath's giving away 35 kilos. Want to be a little careful.
And it looks like Alapati Carlisle is the man with the job on Jonathan Brown. And Toby Thurston's on the last line of defence, picking up Daniel Bradshaw.
We are underway here at the Gabba. That's a big clash. Brogan and Clark, and they're out in the middle. And that's a free kick to Brogan. I think Clark attacked Brogan more than Brogan attacked Clark. I think it surprised both of them.
I think it's Mitch Clark just jumping on the front foot. There is no doubt there's going to be plenty of clashes between those two throughout the night.
Check Corns wide to Ebert. Nice half volley on the slide. Logan into the team as a late replacement for Robbie Gray. That's in the back against Cassisi. Simon Black hands it over to Josh Drummond. Merritt. Quick fire handball to Sherman. Short pass Bradshaw. Just bumped there. And a good legal bump, according to the umpire, from Toby Thurston's. Ball in.
Well, he got away with it. I think, Jace, you probably agree.
He looked at the umpire, Daniel Bradshaw, straight away, Lynchy.
But the concern with Daniel Bradshaw didn't look like he was moving that freely towards the ball.
Thurston's does some ruck work. Cracker, Surgeon, Thurston's, Cassisi, Brogan. Stayed out of the ruck contest. Corns to Corns to Logan, former Brisbane Lion, 3 games here in 2 seasons. Tom Logan from the Territory originally heads this ball wide, and another of their big recruits, Hamish Hartland, sees it out of play. Lee Colbert. See that?
Well, that to me is a free kick, because Thurston's reached out and dragged down the right arm of Bradshaw and made it impossible for him to mark the ball.
You're there,
not allowed to do that.
Hello, Colby. Come in.
Yes, boys, how are you? I'm just letting you know David Roden is actually on the bench, which is interesting given his last game.
Thanks for that, Colby. It was worth the wait. Boak to Surgeon.
Good use here, out into space.
Cracker can go if it sits. He does go. He's got passes inboard, outboard, and Paulie turns it over. Brennan, power against the power tonight. Harding. Just a wobbly kick forward that didn't really find the target. Was hoping for Austin. Jack Corns tunneled out. Austin dives back in. And a free.
Against Chad Corns, just gone in to the back of his opponent there. And a little bit surprising to me, Chad Corns is playing on Rishatelli. Obviously, Rishatelli's got a negating job on the running half-back at Corns. It sets up so much forward.
Game number 5 for Matt Austin coming into the team, replacing Notting. That was a big fly, and no Mark Carlisle. Hardlett. Brogan. Back with the 1-2. Logan. Boat. The lead from Salter, and the second grab.
Oh, that's a mark.
He's stiff.
You've got to pay that.
Umpire Ray Chamberlain says no. Play on. Logan over the ball, dragged off it. Black dives in. And they all dive in, and Ray Chamberlain surely will ball this up.
Well, normally
the player attempting the mark gets the benefit of the doubt in those marking issues. Look at Jonathan Brown and Dean Brogan. Brownie would not take a backward step. Happy to do that on his terms.
Merritt size his way through. Sherman, Power, Sheldon, Rich. Handball just behind Sherman, forced to go back and get it. Harding scoops it back, 3 possessions in this string. Handball over the top to Sheldon, this looks good. Caught though, back on it to Rich, and turnover Chaplin.
It's fast well, yeah, and they've got good spread, Port Adelaide, and that's where they've troubled in recent times, the Brisbane Lions. They're run and spread and quick movement of the ball.
You just saw Alapati Carlisle deliver the ball to Treadray. His opponent, Jonathan Brown, is back virtually in the goal square, 60 metres away. He doubled back for the lead to the goal square when that poor kick came in the attack, and 15 got caught out.
Mitch Clark sitting in the hole waiting for this. Brogan and Clark. Clark, 15 love.
Oh, no
Free
way.
kick here.
No way. Against Luke Power. They're an interesting couple of decisions to start the match from Ray Chamberlain. I was about to say, how many times have we seen Mitch Clark making those terrific plays down back to the lines, taking the mark to help out the defence. Let's have a look at Luke Power. He didn't put his arms out.
Well, he did look at Brogan though. So he's obviously blocked him. He's just got to disguise it a bit better.
Peripheral vision trying to. It's a 50-50 one, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty stiff, but that was Luke Power's intention. He just had to disguise it a little bit and get the arms up to pretend he's going to take an overhead mark.
Not happy with it, Luke. Either having a few words to Ray Chamberlain.
As soon as he took the sneaky look at Brogan, Ray Chamberlain had him. And make that 15 love to Dean Brogan. Put Adelaide in front.
He's very disappointed, Luke Power, and understandably, usually you get away with these, but you have to think of what his actual intention is. Now, look here, he looks to block Brogan, but as I said, you usually get away with those, and Mitch Clark just floats across the front and takes a very good mark over his head. But Brogan, I think he was reasonably surprised as well.
I reckon 8 or 9.
Very happy.
Yeah.
So are we all now happy with that free kick?
I reckon 8 times out of 10 it's let go.
I reckon it is let go, but it's actually correct.
Technically. As long as they're consistent, you don't mind.
Well, they're not out there to necessarily interpret their version of the rules, the umpires. They're there to just adhere to the letter of the law. Brennan, shortish pass. Clark tried to get back. Carlisle got there first.
That's the
Brogan.
second time he's left Jonathan Brown 30 metres behind and got the ball to Carlisle.
Stewart, Chad Corns. Brown, as you heard, Boak, Stewart, Kane Corns. Pop-up pass, is that 15? Carlisle. Boak, slung. Clark, caught, no prior opportunity. Dragged off it. And it's a hot, tight contest at the moment. We will get a ball up from umpire Heath Ryan.
Must have been fairly close to 15 metres, but wasn't paid. Simon Black just getting up off the bottom of the pack with his mates for the night in Kane Corns.
Burgoyne. Short pass, hoping for him. It dumped away from him by McGrath. And we'll get a ball in. Been down a little the last couple of weeks. Ash McGrath just 16 and 12 possessions after 29 possession game before that.
At his best, he's running very well deep in defence and having 4 or 5 forward 50 entries.
Roden.
Interesting stat. Port getting plenty of it early.
Sean Burgoyne tap on. Treadray to his own advantage. Manhandled while he's over it. And a ball up.
It's a lot of the footy, isn't it?
Ray.
38 disposals to 21 in favour of Port Adelaide. Nearly 2-to-1 ratio.
Port Adelaide by 48 points when these two teams met earlier this year, round 14.
And Michael Voss told us pre-game that the frustrating part about the Brisbane Lions in recent times is they just haven't come out at the start of the game and taken the game on.
Yep.
So it appears it's very much the same tonight.
Power. Wobbles it outside 50. Well played by Chapman. Just a deft deflection to Lade. Stewart got it off. Hardlett. Roden. About to get run down by Jonathan Brown. Got it off. Pearce. And back to Alapate Carlisle. He might size them up from there. He's a big long launch of the ball. Beautiful. Alapate, second for the year.
You could not have started better as far as Alapate Carlisle is concerned. He's playing on Jonathan Brown, the danger man for the Brisbane Lions. Jonathan Brown is yet to touch the footy. Carlisle's had it a number of times. That's his third possession. He's run off twice to create going forward. This time he gets involved through the middle of the ground. Jonathan Brown was trying to chase him, but he finishes off with a beautiful bomb from 55, and that's going to do his confidence the world of good.
Only had the 3 kicks in total last week, Alapate Carlisle.
He'd be very happy with his start on Jonathan Brown. I think there's no doubt Jonathan Brown's intentions tonight are to stay deeper, but he's just been caught on the back foot when the ball hasn't come directly to him, and his opponent's been the one to initiate the play.
Lade down towards Roden. Black slipped and Lade. It's his own clearance to Treadray. Well, you play in front. Yep. That happens.
And how often it happens that teams that haven't been in great form come up against a team that they have a very good record against, and it's almost a clean slate. And certainly Port Adelaide have won 3 of the past 4 games against the Brisbane Lions and have entered this game full of confidence, knowing that they can compete against this team at the Gabba.
For the perfect start. 3-0 scoreline. Not bad off the boot. Umpire does a little bit of dancing, but it's there. 18-0.
Well, they've got a very good recent record against the Brisbane Lions. Why do teams play well against certain other teams? We don't know. It's a mystery. They've won 5 of the last 7, and they've started in very good fashion. He's a quality key defender, Daniel Merritt, but he was upset with himself. He knows he got caught out. When there's a stoppage not far away, you know the quick kick's going to fall short. You've got to be right next to your bloke, not a metre behind him.
Just the 2 goals last week were on Treadray against Carlton. 2 goals, 2. 1 from 1 at the moment. Michael Voss.
Brown into the middle for this ruck contest.
Okay, that's the change. Lade missed it completely. Clark with a slap down to Brown, missed him. Stiller caught. Good tackle. Hardlett. Luke Power. Hawksley. Clark. And they fan wide. Good opportunity here for Redden. It bounces kindly. Now Bradshaw's leading long. He goes short to Harding.
Now Brown's going to be in space because he's coming out of the midfield with no opponent, but just can't find space in the congested forward 50.
Black, not 15, looked 20 to me. Harding gets it back. Travis Johnston. And the short is wide and out of bounds on the full. Jonathan Brown asking if it's his and getting the answer that he knew he was going to get.
Just worth the question still,
yeah.
But it was over the line just.
Gee, that's close. Remember, the whole football has to be over the line.
Surgeon. Pokes it up over the head of Salter. Hawksley. Front on contact according to the umpire. McDonald. Drummond.
It's interesting, Josh Drummond, we know how important he is. Tom Logan's got the defensive forwards role on him.
A little tap away. Surgeon to mop up a mess he created. Stewart. And tackled across the boundary line. A bit of ball in. Push and shove on again. Daniel Pearce getting some work from Sheldon. And Daniel Pearce is one of the men they need to stop. Had 35 possessions in that massive win in round 14. Clark surely into the back of Lade. Play on advantage. Pop-up kick, and is that a free?
Yeah, holding.
It's gone the other way.
Ooh.
Gee. We'll be looking at that at replay.
What we saw was Patwell in front. Now, did he grab Motlop to get front position? That's what the umpire is suggesting. He was in a very good position to call it.
Back into the team this week, Daniel Motlop. A couple of years ago here, he was Mr. Magic. Got the 3 Brownlow votes. Oh, he knows where they are here, all right. 4 goals to nil.
4 goals to nil, 52 disposals for 34. As we look at this free kick, there was holding off the ball. We probably didn't actually see the actual free kick on that occasion in favour of Motlop, but a bit of holding both ways. Still can't see the free kick.
He must have seen something prior to that. The umpire, you can see Motlop complaining.
But Joel Patwell, very surprised. Off to a flyer.
Lee Colbert.
Every player on the Port Adelaide list has touched the ball in this first quarter, while Brisbane, 7 players are yet to actually even sight the footy. Brogan and Boak the best with 5 each.
He's sitting forward nicely. Choco Williams in that coach's box at the moment.
Lot of game to go yet. Clark knocks it down. Roden bumped off it. Cassisi likewise. So both Kane Corns. But the Lions have the numbers. Stiller. Brennan. Luke Power. Dainty little kick. Finds Redden. He heads wide to Bradshaw.
That's the one. Well, they've got good space forward. The other thing we've got to remember, it might be 4 goals to zip, but they've had 6 inside 50s apiece. The difference is Port Adelaide have hit targets and found good avenues to goal. That's the first good kick. You got a terrific lateral lead from Bradshaw. Toby Thurston's trying to play in front, got caught looking at the ball and looking back at his opponent.
Oh, what a kick. From little things, big things grow.
And that's his position on the ground, Daniel Bradshaw. He cuts the ball from left to right, and there's a nice bit of build-up here. Good hands through the middle. They actually found some space. A number of midfielders for the Brisbane Lions just set up this clean forward 50 entry, which they certainly have struggled to this stage of the first term to do. But that was actually a training-like drill. Daniel Bradshaw went back and just slogged it beautifully from 45 metres.
Well, that's a very important goal for Brisbane. Just get them on the board. There's so much doubt when the opposition team kicks the first 4. And he was very interesting in his positioning there, Toby Thurston. He wanted to play in front of Daniel Bradshaw. He got caught on the lateral lead.
Brogan down to Sean Burgoyne. Copybook palm down. Kick smothered. Boak. Pursued by Brennan. Keeps his feet black. Knocks it away. Drummond dives in. Good contest to watch at the moment. Boak shuffles it up. Broden. Look for a pass option. Shimmies his way through traffic. Salter. And you can't take that one off him. Earlier on, the umpire said there was a touch on a mark that he took. Nick Salter is in very good form. Dropped back to the SANFL, but kicked 5 goals last week.
Well, they lost Robbie Gray. He's a proven goal kicker. If Nick Salter can come in and fill that void.
From 40. Goal umpire did not move. Back out to 24 points.
Good kick into a dangerous position from Roden, who's got himself involved in the game early. And good build-up. He's had the 4 disposals, but the positioning. Got it out in front where there's space. And nice bit of use of probably the forearm. There's a hand on the side. But that is a very good mark and good conversion and a good answer to the Brisbane Lions goal at the other end. And Port Adelaide lead by 24 points, and they'd be pretty confident at this stage heading towards quarter time.
Game 6 for Nick Salter, goal 6 for the year. Adam Kingsley there on the right-hand side, didn't mention him earlier, nor Matty Primus, who was supposed to be a Brisbane Lions player, but elected not to come here after the Fitzroy merger and went to Port Adelaide instead. Free kick to Clark. And a wobbler. Thurstons will get there first. Caught quickly. Logan, Carlisle, Chaplin. Cracker. Oh, Poke. shrugged that pretty easily in the end.
Gee, Jared Brennan had him cold. That is a poor tackle.
Michael Bosby filthy in the box to let that one slip.
And a good fist by Stiller towards the boundary to get a ball in.
Well, this is it's the dream when you're playing up forward, is to catch a defender cold in the attacking 50. He's had time to dispose of the footy. You get a shot for goal, but he just let him go. He went too high.
Free kick.
This has been an enthralling battle already, the Rucks.
Play on advantage, Boak takes off. Handballs it over the head of Sean Burgoyne. Close to the boundary. Patfull taken across the line. Joel Patfull, former Port Adelaide listed player as well. Was on the rookie list back in 2004, but dropped off and went back to Norwood for a full year. And then picked up by the Brisbane Lions. So knows a few of these Port Adelaide players well, Joel Patfull.
No ruckman for the Lions there.
Cassisi, and that's surely not 15.
Well, there's been a couple others up the ground further that were twice the distance of that and haven't been paid. I think Warren Treadray considered himself very lucky. Daniel Merritt's filthy.
Well, I think it was Jared Brennan that was supposed to be in the ruck, but he didn't get there in time because Mitch Clark had been off for a rest.
For number 2.
They can't miss.
Gives it some sky. It's like their home ground.
Well, we know there was some money put on big bunny.
200,000 at $5.50 early in the week on Port Adelaide.
Well, in anyone's language, look at that pass. That's not 15 metres, but anyway, 200,000 at $5.50. He'd be just a little bit easier at this stage, but long way to go. But a fantastic start for Port Adelaide. Warren Treadray's got his hand on the ball on a couple of occasions and converted from a fair way out, so that's a very handy start for the big forward.
Well, he didn't learn from the first one, Daniel Merritt. The 2 goals that Warren Treadray's kicked have both been from the quick kick from a stoppage, and he was a metre in front of his opponent. Daniel Merritt's got to get side by side and put an arm across him so that doesn't happen.
From the ball up, Luke Power. And it's been all Power so far. Travis Johnston. Big half smothered. Ricochets to Harding. Klein bound. Daniel Rich.
This will go close.
Almost within range, as you said.
Hit the post.
It's the outside.
That travelled 55 metres and went about 6 feet in the air.
It did.
It's extraordinary,
He's
that
a
kick.
penetrating kick, the young fellow. It didn't even flush it, I don't think, but it nearly was through for a goal.
Yeah, the rumour is that kid can play.
Yeah, a bit of mail on that.
Laid long. Merritt. Fist across the line.
And that's Daniel Merritt's position. You spoke about he's been caught behind by these short kicks that have come in. One was a tumbling punt and one went about 8 metres. But Daniel Merritt will tend to play a metre behind, use his athleticism to get in front when the ball is in the air. So it's susceptible to the short pass or the tumbling punt that drops short.
Stiller straight up in the air. Not 15, that one. Umpire yells play on. We've ticked into time on. Surgeon, cracker. He can kick a long ball, goes short over the head of even Treadray for number 3. How do you like him, Warren?
Daniel Merritt's having a shocker.
Well,
He wasn't even watching. He wasn't even watching. He was daydreaming.
I mean, you can't afford a daydream, but no one got a fist on this ball that's come in, and you expect when there's 2 Brisbane Lions in
But
front.
have a look at him. He's watching the ball. He got caught spectating, and he didn't look where his opponent went.
He did.
Warren Treadray took off because he thought, gee, if this ball goes over the top, it's going to head to the goal square. Daniel Merritt's just watching the contest, waiting to see what happens.
50 goals for Warren Treadray for the season now.
That's a great output after end of last year. I think a lot of us had the line through Warren Treadray. Didn't know whether physically he was up to playing league football at this stage of his career, but he's been outstanding. Had some very big games throughout the course of the season.
35 points.
Got to bring that one back, surely.
No, Brennan got the palm down. Sean Burgoyne might get the clearance here. Shrugs Patfull. Cassisi, little fumble. Gets his way out of it. Modlop. Sean Burgoyne. He'll size up the big sticks. Surely not. Surely not. They lead by 41.
Well, the coaching staff in the Brisbane Lions box, they're very dry reaching at the moment. They're not very comfortable with the way things have started. Michael Voss is very disappointed. Have a look at this bounce. And we know that the regulations are bring that one back. That was well outside the circle. But the ability for the Port Adelaide players to get to the contest. They fumbled the ball forward, but the forward momentum got them eventually into space, and there's a bit of class with Berg on the end of it, as has been the case so far this quarter.
I'm not sure if the footy gods saw Port Adelaide's last quarter last week, but they are having us on.
Well, we've spoken about it so much this year. We spoke to Mark Williams prior to the game. He's never sure which Port Adelaide's going to turn up. Their best is brilliant. Their worst is dreadful. At the moment, they're at their best.
Redden to Power, to Rich. Bradshaw, can he get there? Bouncing ball, corralled by Thurston's, comes back. Back with the flight, well played, both Carlisle and Jonathan Brown running back with it. Carlisle's fifth wins out. Played 23 minutes, 8 goals straight, plays 1-1.
It drives you mad as a coach with a team that can play so well and so poorly, and because of the way they do play. And then that last quarter last week, Brisbane Lions are a long way from out of this.
Surgeon slung as he kicked. Brennan fell. Cassisi, Kane Corns, David Roden runs across the defensive half-back and gives it to Bradshaw's man, Toby Thurston's. Chad Corns still over the fist. Briscatelli, Merritt. Tough ball to grab it half forward, and Cracker mops it up.
Hasn't touched the footy yet, Jonathan Brown.
Surgeon on the open side.
Kicked the 2 goals in round 14, but didn't have a big impact on the game. Only had the 10 disposals, as Daniel Bradshaw did as well.
Chaplin to Surgeon to Salter. Went for the chest mark, but kept his feet. Thumps it up high. Sean Burgoyne in a one-on-one battle. Oh, Eben off hands. Sean Burgoyne twists out of trouble. Hands it up. And the goal kick by Matt Thomas. 47 points.
Oh, the guy that's had 200 large on is just up and about at the moment. Might have just gone to the fridge, but they're on fire.
Are they done, Brisbane, Lynchy?
No, I can't say they're done, because we know how Port Adelaide can go so hot and so cold. And likewise, the Brisbane Lions are very much similar, actually, over the last month. Their best is good, their worst has been terrible, and this first quarter is putrid.
Well, it was amazing. After that goal was kicked, they had a powwow, the Brisbane defence. All of them came together like a little huddle. You can just see them splitting up now, trying to man up. But I think the 6 of them got together and said, hey, guys, something's seriously wrong here. We are looking like shot birds. We've got to start doing something serious, locking onto our opponents.
Tell you what, Vossi would love to be able to call a timeout right now.
Back in the old days, you used to be able to start a fight and just slow things down a bit.
They should manufacture a stretcher or something. They need to change this quick smart. Sheldon, short, Brown beaten again. Cracker, good tackle, but no prior opportunity. Did drop it, gets it back, throws it out. Kane Corns, Jonathan Brown and Surgeon. That's a free against Brown, so he's in the negative possession column now.
What about the first quarter that Alapati Carlisle's had? He's had 4 possessions and kicked a goal, and Jonathan Brown has not touched the football.
And that's after a 3-possession game last week for a 3-kick game for Alapati Carlisle. Salter providing a target, but can't mark this. Power. High bomb in hope. Jonathan Brown and Cracker gets back in the hole. Good commitment from the thin man.
Yeah, it's very good for Cracker, and just getting some great support back there, Carlisle, in his big contest with Jonathan Brown. A little bit happening off the ball there, Pearce and Sheldon. Oh, yeah, free kick.
Well, Daniel Pearce has had a lot of problem this year with taggers bringing him down.
See Sheldon working him, and Pearce lashed out there. Very lucky that he didn't make any sort of serious contact.
Surgeon bumped on the backside as he kicked. Travis Boak attacks it. Couldn't pick it up cleanly, but still kicks his feet. Dives into that tackle. Did he have prior? No. Call up. We're inside 5 minutes to quarter time, and it's 9 goals to 1.
They're just shell-shocked at the moment, Brisbane.
Simon Black's only had the 3 disposals after a monstrous game, starting with 12, I think it was last week in the first term.
And they're all handballs, quick handballs under pressure.
Yeah, he's finished with 37 last week, so Port Adelaide have known they need to keep him down. Clark drags Brogan down. That's another 3. They're just...
Yeah,
overzealous at the moment.
Well, Port Ruckman are on top. Both Ruckman are in that contest, putting pressure on Mitch Clark. They're just trying to wear him down.
Pearce gets another possession wide. Treadray with a jump. Forced to lay a tackle. Black got it from McDonald. McGrath. Hatfull. Redden on the open side, and he can run here. Throws it up high. Good kick. Riscatelli on 50.
Now he can make the journey. Riscatelli, he's going to go back and kick this.
Kicks the ball well.
Yeah, they need to salvage something, Lynchy. I mean, 9 goals to 1 is just a blowout. The game's nearly over unless they can kick a couple of late goals here. It is going to be a long night for Brisbane.
A point or a no score here, you'll see some heads drop, but he's a very good leg, or back him in from 50 metres.
Well, you wouldn't say they're necessarily back, but at least they plant a seed.
You wrapped him up as a kick, Lynchy, and he didn't let you down. That's gone through post high. He's kicked that 55 minimum.
Beautiful kick, and he's playing as a negating half forward on, started on Chad Corns, and he will look to negate Chad Corns, but at the same time find some space himself and get used. And not a noted big goal kicker, but certainly when he gets his opportunity, he'll make the most of it, as he did on that occasion.
Well, they've just calmed down, those two, but Chad Corns was starting to work over Michael Riscatelli, getting very physical, Port Adelaide players.
The clearance win was how they won the round 14 clash at Amy Port Adelaide. They won the clearances easily in that game. Brogan taps it down. Modlop will get the clearance again for Port Adelaide here. Shoots it low.
Daniel Bradshaw's gone loose in defence.
Yeah, and could have taken possession there too.
I was just trying to find him on the ground. Thought he might have had a spell on the bench, but just trying to stem the flow in the last couple of minutes of this quarter.
Fair to say that's a sign that things aren't going great when Daniel Bradshaw has to go down loose in defence.
As Lynchy said, they've won 5 of their last 7 against Brisbane Port Adelaide. They're confident. Modlop just kicked one from here. Floats it long. Here's a wild card. Unbelievable. Surely you bring Modlop in and it's a different team.
Well, it is a different team. He does make the most of his opportunity. As long as his defensive pressures are up to speed and he doesn't get exposed the other way. But this is half a chance from 55 metres, and he's absolutely flushed that one and has gone absolutely through the middle. Hasn't looked like missing. A very dangerous player, Daniel Motlop.
Wasn't much of an attempted tackle from Luke Power either. Very, very timid. Here it is. This was after Riscatelli kicked his goal. Have a look at Chad Corns wanting to get into Michael Riscatelli. They're here on serious business, Port Adelaide.
What business were they on last week?
I don't know. A holiday last week.
Footy trip.
They were on furlough, annual leave.
Shane Corns shoots it up. He is consistent. He gives it everything every week. Travis Johnston, Josh Drummond. He can kick a long goal. Just gets caught as he kicks. Jonathan Brown free, surely.
Good chase, though. I mean, it's a free kick to Jonathan Brown for the holding off the ball, but that was a good chase on Josh Drummond. Just to put enough pressure on to make sure he sliced the kick, but Carlisle knew he's in all sorts of strife then with Jonathan Brown going back towards the drop zone and just held on, gave the free kick away, and Jonathan Brown, this will just try to get his game up and going with a goal just before quarter time.
So this is his first possession. Only thing he's done so far tonight is give away a free. That's what he has ahead of him. The captain opens the angle and drills it. We're back to 41 points.
It's extremely rare that you can kick 3 goals in the first quarter and be down 41 points. I mean, 10 straight goals in a quarter of footy. He just got lost, Alapati Carlisle. He saw Jonathan Brown turn because he didn't realise that Josh Drummond was getting tackled as he kicked. He was expecting a longer kick over the top. Brown saw the short kick first and reacted, and then Alapati Carlisle tried to be physical with him and put him off, but just went a bit too far.
Actually needs 10 goals tonight, Jonathan Brown, to draw level with Brendan Favola in the race for the Coleman. Brendan Favola 7 goals today, up to 81 for the year. Jonathan Brown now 72 for the season as Ash McGrath gets some work done. 2.5 minutes from quarter time. Cassisi went backwards to go forward. Thurstons was there. Kane Corns. Cracker. And for the first time tonight, Port Adelaide takes some time to settle. Modlop. Stewart. Joining us for the first time, Robbie Gray, a late exclusion for Port Adelaide, and Tom Logan in.
There is just a ridiculous weight of possession in favour of Port Adelaide at the moment. Port Adelaide have had 114 possessions in the first quarter. The Brisbane Lions have had 65.
So they're on world record pace. Port Adelaide, Cracker sits under this for a long time.
And as you'd expect through the score, the kicking efficiency has been heavily weighted in favour of Port Adelaide as well. They're at 72%. Brisbane Lions, the little amount of possessions they've had, they've turned half of them over, only going at 53% at the moment.
Chad Corns to Thurstons, a little fumble. Crowd enjoyed it, but they've got to find little things to enjoy when you've got a scoreline like this. Into the team this week, didn't play against Carlton last week. Toby Thurstons might be a little rusty at this pace. Clark wins that ruck battle with strength. Surgeon played in front. Handball missed the intended target. Boak, Cracker, Boak, numbers around the ball. Thurstons again. Lions also getting numbers there. And we're down to a minute. We'll get a ball up.
Just a goal before quarter time for the Lions would be a massive boost. And it'd be good for their sake if it was Jonathan Brown to just get that confidence level up after a quiet first term.
From the knockdown, Roden to his own advantage, chased down. The handball up towards Hardlip. And Stiller edged out with the ball. Get a ball in.
Happy to just fumble that one over the boundary line.
Work being done on the whiteboard.
Might be a fair bit of detail on that whiteboard, I would have thought.
Kane Corns around the body. And down to 51 seconds. And the crowd here shell-shocked as much as the players. Kane Corns, unlike Port Adelaide itself, Mr. Consistent.
Yeah, he's started off very well. He's had the 9 disposals. Simon Black, his opponent, has 4.
There he is on cue. Another kick inside 50. Ebert kicks around the body towards full forward. Treadray hunting it back. He's got 3 Warren Treadray. Bradshaw with him. And taken out by Austin. Port Adelaide's biggest lead this term has been 47. They've led by 47 twice. It's now 41.
Lade's good in this situation. Close to goals.
Roden lays the tackle on Hawksley. Black, Power, and love a late one. Sherman.
Nowhere to go. Absolutely no one to go to. Forward.
So Jonathan Brown has to backtrack and wait for a pass target. Heads it wide. Redden, boundary line. Stewart pursues him. But maybe a chance for a late score here for the Lions with 15 on the clock.
Chaplin was just parked back into the space at the end of a probably a 50-metre kick if the Brisbane Lions were going to kick forward, but obviously had decided to use it short.
Lade with the palm down. Late chance for Harding. He slides into Surgeon, and that might cost him. Get a ball up with 6 seconds on the clock.
Problem for Brisbane is they just can't get their good players to get the ball in their hands. You've got Brown's had 2 possessions, Riscatelli 2 possessions, Bradshaw 2 possessions, Drummond 3 possessions, Travis Johnson 3 possessions, and Simon Black 5. The good players can't get their hands on the footy.
Slap inside 50 to Sherman, and he can't kick the goal on the siren. Behind Port Adelaide's biggest ever first term here at the Gabba. Port Adelaide's straightest ever first term against Brisbane. Port Adelaide's biggest first term of the year. Don't know if all those stats are correct, but I'm guessing. 10 straight 60, plays 3-2-20 at quarter time. this. No matter how many games you've watched, you've never seen it all. Port Adelaide 10 straight away from home at the Gabba in the opening term to lead by 40 points. Brisbane Lions 3-2-20. Tredrea has 3.
Well, you're right, Wayne. It's just been an incredible first quarter. I'm gobsmacked. You have a look at the numbers. Contested possessions, nearly double for Port Adelaide. They're winning the hard ball. They've had the same inside 50s. To score 10 goals from 14 inside 50s is a ridiculous conversion rate. Now, we spoke to Mark Williams prior to the game. He was up. He was happy. He was in a good mood. He must have sensed something, but he couldn't have dreamt that they would come out with a 10 straight goals first quarter, Lynchy.
No, it's been extraordinary. Their efficiency with the ball in the hand, Port Adelaide, has also been very, very good, but they just can't hit targets, the Brisbane Lions. What little ball they get, as you said, inside 50s are exactly the same, but that man is just struggling to get near the ball. He's had the one goal from a free kick. Hasn't been a big first quarter. He'll be looking to turn it around.
And I think he had something in his eye that he needed removed by one of the trainers. We head down to a man who's always got a glint in his eye, Lee Colbert.
You're absolutely right with Jonathan Brown. Had his eye washed in that quarter time there by the doctor. But it's been interesting the way they've been able to manufacture Port Adelaide, the defence. The likes of Corns, Carlisle, Chaplin and Thurstons have been rolling around on both Brown and Bradshaw. The highest defender actually is the one that takes off, and that's how Bob Carlisle got on the end of one and kicked the goal in that first quarter. They're working together as a team and putting a lot of pressure on Brown and Bradshaw. Extraordinary. Everyone here is in shell shock at the moment, but second half and a second quarter to come. Look out, Brisbane Lions.
We saw one of the trainers walking around like a boxing round girl with the big whiteboard held above her head showing some of the numbers to the players, probably showing them to the crowd as well, just to show the discrepancies in some of the stats.
Wasn't great viewing for the Brisbane Lions players. They were smashed in all facets of the game. I think they were leading the tackles. The only reason they were leading the tackles is because they didn't have the ball in their hands and had to chase and tackle for it.
Just some of those numbers you were speaking about, boys. 22-41 in Port Adelaide's favour for contested ball, and 17-8 for tackles also Port Adelaide's way.
Now, a big move is Daniel Bradshaw has gone back to Warren Tredrea, and Daniel Bradshaw was the most likely Brisbane Lions player in the forward 50, so that's a big call from Michael Voss.
So effectively for the Lions, the game starts again.
Well, I hope it starts again. Jared Brennan's gone forward. He's at full forward replacing Bradshaw.
Well, it's a wake-up call for Daniel Merritt too. There he is. We wonder if it's if he actually has something that's troubling him, because he's looked horribly out of touch in his first term.
Cracker hacks it forward. Ebert and Hawksley pursue it. Ball in.
Brisbane Lions playing the extra man in defence as well, and that obviously frees up one for Port Adelaide.
It's the 7th versus 9th. On the AFL ladder. Port Adelaide will be in the 8 tonight if they win. Power to Clark.
Brisbane wouldn't want to lose Daniel Merritt either as they head towards September.
Surgeon loops it over the top. Cassisi, knock on. Outside of the foot, Pearce. Touch play on. Tredrea flies. Ball thump clear towards Ebert. Good smother there from Pat Filoni's handball. Cassisi dumped. Got it away. Tredrea back through traffic. Couldn't break clear with it. Quick kick is good though.
There's nothing to kick to.
So Redden bumped as he kicks. Brown pursues it. Carlisle had him. Briscatelli and getting back. Cracker. Howard takes the mark. Open forward line ahead. Sherman looks up. He's only got a one-on-one. It's Brennan and Thurstons. A little bit of a grab on the jumper. No free.
Well, they didn't have much forward. They were outnumbered, but it was the Luke Power hand pass that, if it had been in front of Sherman, he probably could have run inside 50 and had a shot. He took the good mark, but then just didn't deliver a matching handball.
Chase down from Daniel Motlop. Ball slapped down towards Carlisle. Shoots it back. Travis Boat. Speaking of Port Adelaide players who have held form, the Chaplin and then wide. Race on. Stiller and Hartlett. Well played. The young Hartlett shoots it towards attacking 50. Salter. Well played, McGrath. Logan dives in. McGrath just as hard throws that out. Stiller taps it out towards Drummond. Boak was waiting for it. Dispossessed. Redden hands it up. Sheldon. Sherman. Needs to hit a chest. Brennan's chest is the one he wants. Thurstons went the fist. Elected not to mark. Should mop up the mess here. Thurston shoots it out. Carlisle, Cracker, they've got some poise.
That was good work from Thurstons. Went in low and hard, and just with the momentum, flicked the handball out over the top.
The Susi to Chad Corns. Cracker takes on Jonathan Brown, draws Carlisle's man and then sends it long. Ebert's got 2 to beat here and will really need to motor to try and beat them both. Does pretty well, knocks Clark off it. Little tap though, Clark to McDonald. Luke Powell. Patfull, Daniel Rich. Kick in board and Powell made it look okay. Geez, a clever kick from Daniel Rich.
Must have had very good peripheral vision.
McGrath.
Pretty congested forward 50 ahead of him. Plenty of Port numbers back.
Rich running deep towards Brown.
That's a good kick.
Thumps it along to Brown, who can't get a fly at it. Toby Thurstons again puts his body on the line, gets a fist on it.
Well, I thought he was going to isolate Brown in a one-out contest, but Toby Thurston's covered a lot of ground to get there. That's the sort of thing you ask for from your teammates. He came from a long way away to get there just after Brown had virtually beaten Carlisle in the body-on-body contest.
Yeah, I think what had happened is Brown was going out in a lead, but Daniel Rich just congested the area and had to pull his lead up, and thus the kick had to be directed to the top of the goal square.
Hard to tell if that's strapping on the knee or strapping on the thigh for Daniel Merritt. We'll have to get Lee Colbert onto that.
We seem to be having some work on his hamstring just after the quarter-time break there, so might be a concern that his right hamstring
Yeah, but you don't strap a hamstring and play, do you?
You don't play real well.
Dean Brogan.
There's some serious tape going on.
Sean Burgoyne. That's his 8th game of the year, Sean Burgoyne. Modlop. A couple of goals in the opening term for Daniel Modlop.
No one's on the mark. They're dropping back at the moment, the Brisbane Lions, just pushing massive numbers behind the ball, just trying to slow the momentum of the game up, try to control the tempo if they can.
And hoping Port Adelaide just plays long, where they've got the numbers advantage. Port Adelaide has the numbers advantage here, so they'll keep possession of the ball.
They will, but you've got to still say that there's probably a win for the Lions.
That's a win, all right. Drummond. Good tackle at Cassisi. Black. Oh, that was a wobbler that found Sherman.
That's Shank. He was looking for Brennan and slid off the outside of the boot.
Absolute shank, but he'll claim that one on the right.
Stiller.
Patfull's alone in the forward 50.
Riscatelli made a good lead. That was ignored. Too slow.
Pokes it towards Sheldon. Fist from Thurstons again, and a toe. Sheldon keeps his feet, keeps the ball more importantly. Hands it up towards Redden. He backtracks. Sherman the target, and Cracker. His fist has been sensational tonight. Stiller. Sherman likes to kick a goal. Caught here, dispossessed. Boat gave it up to Roden. Twist out of trouble. Sean Burgoyne. David Roden. Travis Boak. Daniel Pearce. Heads wide. Warren Treadray. Brett Ebert.
Well, at the moment, you've got Ashley McGrath marking Brendan Lade. And if they can get that to a one-out contest, you'd love just to see Port kick it up in the air to Brendan Lade. And here it comes.
So Lade and McGrath, and well, that was a win in the end.
Well, Bradshaw left his direct opponent and floated across, but you'd be sure that if Port Adelaide can isolate that situation at the top of the goal square, they'll try to clear the 50 out and get it long and deep.
Brogan being held by McDonald there, and Brogan will get the free.
Well, I think what happened there is both ruckmen once again were in the ruck contest for Port Adelaide, Brogan and Lade, and there seemed to be some support from McDonald just to try to hold Brogan out of the contest and make it a one-on-one and not the two-on-one that Port Adelaide want.
But even if Brogan's a midfielder there, he gets a free as a midfielder for that grab by a tagger.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, it's a legitimate free kick, though.
I'm not sure what he's complaining about, McDonald, because he just locked onto an arm and held it.
He struggled to get away with that one.
He hands it off instead
to a ruckman.
So big Brendan Lade kicks it post high. It misses.
Daniel Merritt coming back too with his thigh strap, boys.
First miss for the night for Port Adelaide.
Doesn't look like he's moving overly well too.
McDonald ran into Brendan Lade. is not moving well right now. That's almost ball. It's out of play. Luckily for Daniel Merritt, the line was there.
Jace, you would have loved that one. Big Dean Brogan giving off the handball to a ruckman in Brendan Lake to have a shot on goal.
They do operate very well in tandem. So here they go again.
From the palm down, David Roden tries to break through. Tackled, dropped it. The handball up from Thomas, couldn't find a target. It's still in the congestion. Dominic Cassisi trying to work some magic in the clinches. McDonald steals it back. Brennan McGrath. Okay, it opens up now for the Lions. Power, Sherman. Open forward line.
We'll keep running.
He could go all the way here. Runs to 50. He might be able to inspire them. The kick was poor. Ball in.
He had to run and carry the ball and try to attack the 50-metre arc. Jonathan Brown had good coverage from his direct opponent. There wasn't any free targets, but probably summed up the first quarter and a half for the Brisbane Lions. Just a poor kick. He was in between dishing it off and having a shot for goal. In the end, out of bounds.
Brennan, brilliant. Kick not so good. Straight up in the air, play on. Black, double teamed. Johnston, Brennan, Sherman.
Right.
Brilliant smother there. Stewart put his body on the line, made the smother. Sheldon turned it over. Brogan gave it off to Daniel Pearce. Heads wide towards Salter with the kick. Way wide. Salter did okay. Then front over the line. Play on. No. Ball in.
It's a terrific smother. They're doing everything right at the moment. Port Adelaide, he's going on the snap, and the despairing dive from Paul Stewart is a beauty.
He's another trying to make amends for last week. Just a 2-kick, 9-possession game for him last week, Paul Stewart. Surgeon back into the team, but missed it here. Harding. Polkinghorn. Wide ball towards Brown. Slides and marks. Crowd starting to find voice.
Just about in range. It's warm conditions here. We've seen a couple of shots from the likes of Daniel Motlop that have travelled 55 metres at least. You would think if Jonathan Brown makes good contact that he can certainly get the journey.
He's pretty keen to give it off there, and maybe he's just doubting himself at the moment, but when he's up and going, he's certainly within range from this distance.
He's also blowing, so I suspect he's been working pretty hard. That can take it out of your leg.
2 kicks so far, 1 goal. And a captain's goal needed, if ever they've needed one. Gives it some sky, squeezes it in, gives them a heartbeat.
Very handy goal for the Brisbane Lions is an understatement, but Jonathan Brown, just to get involved in the game, we said in the first quarter he was staying fairly close to goal, wasn't getting many disposals. Now he's been trying to work his opponent up onto the wings, then deep back, and just try to get some run in his legs and just try to take the run out of his direct opponent. That's a good diving mark, and he was certainly blowing after a big 5 minutes running up the ground. Great conversion from 55.
Hasn't had a lot of it, just the 4 possessions, but if he can turn them into goals, he's got 2 goals now. They'll need at least 6, 7, 8 from Jonathan Brown. You suspect the way things have started here at the Gabba.
With Daniel Merritt coming back on the ground, obviously Daniel Bradshaw has gone back to full forward.
Cassisi with the clearance. Treadray hunting it down, edged out of the contest. Ball knocked down towards Travis Boak. Hacks it forward towards the pocket. Bouncing ball. Motlop waited. A few more attacked it. Corns, Black, both there. Treadray shoots it out. Sean Burgoyne. Kick half smothered to Brogan. He kicks around the body. It's across the face, and Merritt keeps it alive. Danger here. He's tried to rush it, and Hawksley takes it through. Margin has been as big as 47.
He's limping fairly badly there. We see near the man on the mark, Daniel Merritt, just struggling. I think it won't be long before he is removed from the ground again.
Austin.
Well, they wouldn't leave him out there limping if it was a hamstring. Let's hope it's just a cork, or maybe just some bruising in the leg of some sort, nothing serious.
Brennan heads wide to Clark. They're feeling their way back into this contest, Brisbane. Well, they were. Chaplin gets on the end of Stiller's kick. Surgeon.
Straight
Caught
kick.
and thrown. Thomas turnover. And now Jonathan Brown might take this.
This could be 50, is it?
Looks like it might
50
be.
It is. Oh, they're coming back.
The Chaplin kick was an interesting one. It was short into the corridor in the back half after he'd got in good position to intercept the Brisbane Lions going forward. Just put his teammates under enormous pressure, so he could tackle there. And the kick away from Dominic Cassisi. I think when he kicked it, he knew.
Sherman kicks the goal, gets it under 30 points. 29 points the margin.
Well, there's a heartbeat at least now for the Brisbane Lions. In the first quarter, it looked like they were dead to rights. All of a sudden, they're starting to get their hands on the footy a little bit more. They had 50 or so less possessions, but at least it's not the 2-to-1 ratio that we saw developing in the first quarter. And for the first time in the match, they've started to put Port Adelaide under a bit of pressure, make them second-guess themselves. There's Daniel Merritt. We've been having a close eye at his movement. He's got that thigh heavily strapped. Gee, he didn't push off it too well or turn on it, did he?
No, he certainly didn't. Very much struggling. Looks like he's saying just above the knee, so maybe he's a corky.
It certainly isn't something serious because the medical staff would not allow him to be out there.
Brogan kicked the wrong way. Cassisi mops it up. Sean Burgoyne. Stewart. 14 goalless minutes
He
in
can't
the
move.
second term so far for Port Adelaide.
He can't run, Merritt.
No, he's
Ebert sends it long to Merritt's man. It's over Treadray's head. Modlop in the pocket. Bouncing ball. Tries some magic. Merritt caught high. Free kick surely.
He tried to follow Treadray on the lead, and he can't run more than a slow jog. He has to go off, Daniel Merritt.
Yeah, I think
surely.
he'll go off. He's heading straight to the bench now.
He can barely move.
The crowd can sense the momentum swing. Short pass is okay.
Merritt's limping off.
Polkinghorn. Low ball, a wobbler. Well marked by Chaplin. Hands it up to Stewart. But Port Adelaide with an extra man at the moment. Short pass, Poke.
They're determined every chance they get to go into the corridor.
Ebert lurking. Motlop, boundary line is a win for the Lions. 15 goalless minutes in this second term for Port Adelaide.
Here's Daniel Merritt again. This is the clash with Warren Treadray. Popped it high, and he didn't like it, so he gave a little bit back.
Just drops the knee onto the left-hand side of the jaw as he looks at that lower right quad.
Brogan got a palm to it. Secondary palm. Black. Still a wide. Bradshaw. Little push to the back there. No free. Paul Stewart. Sean Burgoyne. Toby Thurstons. Surgeon. Batting a collar. Caught and slung. You heard the umpire's call. Play on. Got it out. Travis Johnston sees it out. 16 minutes gone, ball in.
Forgetting Daniel Merritt just for a moment to see the tackling pressure very close to the boundary line. Port Adelaide need this next goal. There has certainly been a momentum swing Brisbane Lions way, and just Port Adelaide just got to hang on and get a few forward 50s entries and get a conversion.
Hartlett towards Treadray. Hands not there at the moment. Patfull spins out of trouble to the open side to Hawksley. He's got Sherman. Bounces it to him. Harding. Dives and marks. Called to move it on. Stiller. It's got Brennan inside to set a square. Heads wide to Johnston.
Now Port Adelaide defenders and midfielders are just sagging off their men, trying to protect their defensive 50, just allowing the little 30-metre passes to hit up teammates for the Brisbane Lions.
Jared Brennan, who's just got the ball now, is the man they desperately want to get involved in the game.
So Brennan to Black to Hawksley, who loads up with another wobbler inside 50, straight to Brogan. And he's got three men on the open side.
The last few kicks into the attacking 50 have been
Slaughtered.
dreadful turnovers, straight to the opposition, nowhere near a teammate.
Corns to Thurstons, now Chaplin, and then it'll probably be even. They've got numbers here on the wing.
Yeah, they've got to run and use the ball. They've got numbers everywhere.
Ebert drops it to Logan. Corralled. Modlop, little 1-2, the give. Did he get pushed and did he handball it? Play on. Brennan. Redden. Drummond, the little fumble. Turn over towards Brogan, but he couldn't trap it. Well, now McGrath, he runs to 50. He can't kick a goal, but he doesn't kick this one.
Gee, that's a bad miss. Josh Drummond, a terrific second effort. The handball was smothered, and then he threw himself into the traffic. He was the most desperate to get a fist on it. Have a look at this. He dives over one, in front of another, to knock it forward to the advantage of McGrath.
And McGrath, usually can pencil him in on the run from 50.
They've got some momentum, Brisbane. What they're not doing is just finishing it off in clinical fashion.
No, they're not. They're not making the most of their...
Oh, danger here.
Well, that might
Jack
do it.
Corns turns it over to Mitch Clark.
And Jacob Surgeon looks back at him and says, what on earth was that kick?
Well, we've spoken about Brisbane Lions going to their forward 50 and turning the ball over. When it has been turned over, the efficiency of Port Adelaide over this last 5 minutes to actually get it out has really dropped away. They've very much struggled. Now, we know this was a weak part of Mitch Clark's game. He set shots. It appears that he's improved this facet throughout the season.
6 goals, 6 this year. Starts it right and brings it back a little, but nowhere near enough.
Once Lynchie said he'd improved, that was enough, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, probably thinking back, his field kicking's very much improved. He still has that high ball drop when having to set shots.
Chad Corns might be a little gun shy after his last kick. Dumps it long, Ebert gets there and makes the contest, Ebert. He was in full throttle and he's knocked him down, and that could be reportable.
Well, he hasn't paid a 50.
He hasn't. Think it was reportable?
The umpire hasn't. No, I don't think it was reportable. I thought it was late. I thought it's a 50-metre penalty. He's in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know whether it is reportable. I think he was going for the ball.
I can't believe it's not a 50-metre penalty. He's taken the...
he's trying to slow up.
Maybe, but he still caught him heavily.
That's nasty. It looks like Shani Stewart down there.
Well, he hasn't been reported. No, the umpire was right there.
I don't think it was reportable. He was endeavouring to get there.
Jeez, he's banged his head back. He's asleep there, Shani Stewart. That's not good at all. Hopefully, see the doctor. He's talking to the Dr. Paul McConnell now. You can see his jaw moving and seems to be conscious. Just going through the regulation checks of the neck to start with.
Teams will get together now. Both teams getting in their huddle because we're going to have a decent stoppage here. You're right. It actually, he was trying to stop and he breezed past an opponent that was protecting the back of Chaney Stiller, but he still caught him in a very awkward fashion, knocked him off balance.
But the doctors these days are very, very professional in the way they go about this. They'll bring the stretcher out and they'll take plenty of time to take Chaney Stiller from the ground. As we said, he is chatting to the doctor there, so
look at the replay, Lynch. It certainly wasn't malicious.
No, it certainly wasn't. He tried to pull up, and I think that's the thing. He genuinely tried to pull up. We've seen over the years the attacks at the player under the ball, and that certainly wasn't that.
It's been an extraordinary game. Port Adelaide kicked 10 goals straight in the opening term, and in the first 21 minutes of the second term, they've been goalless. Port Adelaide. We've seen the best and the worst of Port Adelaide wrapped up in a half of football tonight. 62 plays 35. Currently stands at 27 points the margin. It's been as big as 47. As Shani Stiller is still in the hands of trainers.
Yep. This all looks reasonably bad, but the fact are they go about the due diligence to make sure that Shani Stiller is fine. We see the head come down and crashed into the very hard Gabba surface.
Landed very heavily on the back and the head, didn't he? But they take every precaution to make sure that there are no spinal injuries. They've got the best medical people there to take care of the player. And it's good to see that he's actually moving his legs there. Folded them up. That's good news.
From a game point of view, and obviously, hopefully Shani Stiller is up and about shortly, but from a game point of view, there's Stiller and it appears Merritt. The Brisbane Lions are going to be 2 men down for, you'd think, most of the game now.
They've played some big battles, these two, and they might be a couple of men down, as you mentioned, Litchie, with Daniel Merritt with that thigh. Head-to-head, Port Adelaide's won 11, Brisbane's won 10, and they've played 2 draws, so it's always been tight. Of course, there's a grand final back in 2004, which was one of the big ones. And a round of applause for Shane Stiller, as he's placed very carefully on the mobile stretcher. But as you can see, his arms are moving.
So you'd suspect it'd be at least a decent dose of concussion. Well, they'll take him downstairs to the Brisbane Lions rooms and assess him down there, and if required, go off to hospital. But hopefully, all is well.
Yeah, the best possible result is a mild bout of concussion. We keep our fingers crossed that is it. Terrific courage from Shane Stiller to go back with the flight of the ball.
It's always very disturbing for family when they see this, and the families have been around football clubs to understand this process that the doctors go through. But still, it's a very worrying sign to see those close to you being taken off in a neck brace.
Well, he is a local. There's a good chance his family will be here,
Yeah,
Alistair.
most certainly his family will be here, and they'll no doubt head down to the rooms to see how he's going. And the good thing is he seems that reasonably good spirits, having a chat to the doctor on the way off.
And now the players need to refocus.
Yeah, look, we don't like seeing anything like that happen, but this is a stoppage that Brisbane would rather have happened in the middle of the first quarter when Port had all the momentum. As it stands, Brisbane have actually got a little bit of momentum back. Hundreds all over the ground. This has worked well for Brisbane.
McDonald peels, takes the mark and takes off. Sends it wide, attacking 50. Brown, not the second grab.
Seems extraordinary that Brisbane Lions had 3 players out in space after that sort of that much time.
Well, they set up
for
a couple
stoppage.
of different huddles in different parts of the ground, Lynchy, and then broke into space. It worked well.
There's a little discreet just slap of the arms, just enough to put Jonathan Brown off.
Jared Brennan with the fist in that ruck contest, straight out of play again. Been a good battle, Brown and Carlisle. Starting to even up slightly, although Carlisle still ahead on points. Laid with the palm down. Tackle on Riscatelli by Roden, then he stripped him. Trying to shuffle it out. And Roden gets a free for a push.
Well, he found that push in the back. I thought there was a Brisbane player a little unlucky not to get one at the beginning of that stoppage.
That's extraordinary. David Roden picked the ball up, got to his feet, and then just tried to work his way out. There was certainly a free kick there, but there might have been one each way.
Cracker. 25 minutes gone on the clock. It'll be another 30-minute quarter. Brogan. Long first term, given there were 13 goals in the opening quarter. So a long second term here. And that'll take a bit out of these players heading into the second half. Brogan to Treadray. Can't get a fly at it. Get another ball in. Seems calm enough, Michael Voss. Momentum swinging their way, but the lead still 27 points in Port's favour. Roden again, takes them on, got a handball out. Sheldon, little fumble, tried to give it out to Brennan. Riscatelli threw that up. Hawksley weaves his way through traffic. McGrath, low kick. Clark. Travis Johnston runs on. Clark's outside 50, shorts it inside 50. Bradshaw.
Well, you've spoken about it before, Lynchy. He mightn't be particularly good in front of goal, but as a field kick, Mitch Clark, the big bloke, is as good as any going around. That was a beautiful bullet pass to the leading forward.
Was Daniel Bradshaw a 50-metre lead across the ground to work hard into that space to honour the lead, to honour the kick.
Already has one. Starts it right, peels it back. Perfection from Daniel Bradshaw.
Tempo of this game has really swung around Brisbane Lions' favour since just before quarter time, when they were able to kick a couple of goals, and they were very important goals. But the ability of Brisbane to actually hit targets now, which they weren't doing in that first half, couldn't hit a target inside 50. I think it was only about one mark to Daniel Bradshaw in that first term inside 50. But Bradshaw, when he gets an opportunity from this sort of area, is always a better than 50-50 chance.
second goal for Daniel Bradshaw. And I dare say now that that gentleman that had 200,000 on Port Adelaide at 5.50 earlier in the week, not as content as he was at quarter time, Dwayne.
Unless he laid off at quarter time and took the 25s about the Brisbane Lions. Thorl and their money are soon parted. Kasisi.
Oh, that's a good grab.
Right.
Tommy Logan.
Logan just outside 50.
That's the third or fourth time tonight Brisbane defender caught by the quick kick from a stoppage.
Adelaide, who doesn't go long, heads wide. Salter in the pocket, and he can slot a difficult goal.
Very happy to dish off to Brendan Lade, the Port Adelaide players, just to give him that forward 50 entry or the shot on goal. That was a nice pass out into space. Probably a bit wider than he'd like, but there was no space through the corridor, so the lead had to go wide.
What are the angles like from these pockets, Richie?
Oh, you can see some space.
That's a pretty good kick off the boot. He's missed.
He had the right shape, just started a little bit straight.
So 29 goalless minutes in this second term for Port Adelaide. Drummond. Toward Power, cut off. Thomas can't complete the deal. Power to Black. Port Adelaide making mistakes now. Travis Johnston looks up and he's got a couple of options. Bradshaw's on the move. One way then the other. Ignores Bradshaw. Turnover to Pearce.
That was a panicked kick in the end.
Yep.
Travis Johnson was looking to go inside to Daniel Bradshaw on the left foot. Decided against that when Bradshaw was covered, but then just speared one to nowhere, really.
Make no mistake, though, Port Adelaide are under pressure. They're happy to slow it down and keep possession. In the first quarter, they played on, they ran, they swept the ball forward at every opportunity. Now, they are playing possession footy to say, hey, Brisbane's got momentum. We need to take the sting out of it by just monopolising the footy for a couple of minutes and just getting control of things back the way we had it in the first term.
Well, we saw this at the start of this term where the Brisbane Lions put numbers behind the ball.
He doesn't have to move. He's being called to play on 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, he doesn't have to move, that's for sure. But credit to the Brisbane Lions, how they've been able to control the tempo of the game.
Treadray looks up. Heads wide. Salter again. He's just had a sighter from that pocket. And the angle is a little better this time.
It's a little better, and they need this. They need to get the reward for effort. They've had the ball in their hands, but have had nowhere near the efficiency going forward as they did in the first quarter. They have to score a goal, otherwise just momentum's going to really run away from them. And I know they're in front by 22 points, but they need one now.
Some say unlucky to be dropped. He was dropped when Mark Williams wanted to go small. Peels it back, same kick. This time skims the post. They're still goalless for the term, Port Adelaide, and we've now played 31 minutes.
Both been good kicks off the boot from Nick Salter. It was a disappointing contest up on the wing for Brisbane. They had three players there and they all got underneath the footy. The ball went over the back, allowing Treadray to deliver it forward.
You had have asked Port Adelaide pre-game, would you be happy to go in at half-time 23 points up? They would have answered yes. If you'd asked them when they led by 47 in the opening term, they would have said no.
We suggest if they go in less than 23 points in front.
Interesting decision here. The boundary umpire said it was fumbled over the line, but the field umpire paid the mark because it looked like he took it cleanly in one grab.
It was a clean grab, I would have thought.
Well, if you don't lose contact with the ball, it's a mark. It's not a juggle. Did he lose contact with it or not?
That's a clean grab.
That's a clean mark. A little bit unlucky there.
Bad decision. And a Brisbane Lions free. They could capitalise here. Bradshaw.
Brown one out if they can get it quickly over the top of Brogan.
Some luck going their way, Brisbane. Bradshaw takes some time. Hockinghorn. We're down to 25 seconds. Thought about Luke Power in the pocket. Heads to Bradshaw. Down to 20.
Oh, could give 50 here. Oh,
50.
That's ridiculous.
Well, he went to the side of the mark, Daniel Motlop, and he moved far enough away. You can see Mark Williams cannot believe it. But what Daniel Motlop did do was once Daniel Bradshaw went to kick the footy, he thought that's play on, I can go on. But Bradshaw hasn't crossed the original mark. So all he has done, you can see here, he goes off inboard to the side. Now, as he takes off, you can't come in from the side because you're encroaching the mark. He realises the advantage they may have given away here, Mark Williams.
They led by 47 points, Port Adelaide. It's been cut back to 17.
Well, just before he had that, the Brisbane Lions had that foray forward and the free kick and the 50-metre penalty. I thought if Port Adelaide go in at less than 23 points up, they'll lose this match because there has been a massive swing of momentum. Brisbane Lions came out at the start of the second term, slowed the game down, put numbers behind the ball, had some concerns with Daniel Merritt injury, but they've controlled the tempo. The tempo and momentum has gone the Brisbane Lions' way.
17-point lead to Port Adelaide. We've got time enough for a bounce, and a bounce only here before the half-time siren sounds. The crowd have found full voice. 7th versus 9th on the AFL ladder. The Brisbane Lions playing with 5th in mind. Port Adelaide playing with 8th spot in mind, and we have a contest. 10-4-64 plays 7-5-47. Welcome back to the Gabba. Port Adelaide by 17 points after they did lead by 47 points. Just to 17 as we get close to starting the second half. Brisbane attempting their biggest ever comeback against Port Adelaide, and it would be their second biggest comeback ever for the Brisbane Lions if they get back from 47 points. Their biggest comeback ever, Brisbane, here at the Gabba against Hawthorn.
No, don't go down that track, Wayne.
When the Chief was in charge, it took him over into the shade at three-quarter time, I think I recall, Chieftain.
Just talk us through that, Jason, if you can.
Well, I think we should talk us through this first. He's had some sort of back spasm or something here because he's being assisted off. What's going on there, Lynchy?
I'm not sure. I was too busy focusing on you there for a while. But he's with the doctor.
This is a disaster for the Brisbane Lions.
And the physio, and he is in no state whatsoever, and he's coming from the ground.
Either that or is he dehydrated or something like that? He looks a little bit out of it, doesn't he?
He does. He looks like there is certainly a dehydration problem there.
Did he get a whack? Let's see, did he get a clash of heads or something?
No. He's just head started spinning. And
a little bit off colour, maybe a little bit crook.
How about Jonathan Brown in Perth, Subiaco a year ago, where he just got faint at half-time, almost couldn't take part in the second half, and then
the other thing we can say, Dwayne, it is very warm tonight.
And it has
as
been
warm
very
as
warm
we've seen.
Well,
all the games we've been coming up here in recent times, it was something like 28 degrees today. Now you expect the Brisbane players to be a little bit more acclimatised, but he's obviously feeling crook, and he's had to be assisted from the ground.
Well, he's had a massive workload, and he has to take on the two big ruckmen, and with that heat, and if you're not having the hydration that you need, the amount of fluids going in, you're going to be in a reasonable amount of strife. And see Daniel Merritt, he looks like he's out of the contest for the day. So
Cheney still, you'd hate to think they're 3 down, but is this the sort of opportunity that could bring someone like Jared Brennan into the game?
He's going to need to step up now.
Second half underway. This could be a history-making night.
Step up he did.
Brennan, Black, inside 50, hoping for Sheldon. Chad Corns got it from Thomas. Kicks a wobbler towards Boak. Good contest. Boak wins it, beats Redden. Taken into the fence by Daniel Rich. And did he hurt himself? Gee, that would be another massive loss. Just a little bump might not necessarily have been necessary there.
A little bit of blood on the hand there.
Right here.
You can see the metal clips on top of the sign.
Oh, he slipped in the gutter. He slipped in the gutter.
Free kick from the ball in. Strange things keep happening in this game. You're not sure where to look next. So blood's coming from that.
He's trying to cover it up.
He'll need to go off. He cut himself on the fence.
Yeah, when he slipped.
Great, I reckon it was in there.
Gee, there'll be an occupational health and safety issue there. We know what happened with Barry Hall at ANZ Stadium last year. Chad Corns sends it towards Sean Burgoyne. Port haven't kicked a goal since the opening term. And Salter might be the man to give it to them.
Gee, that's a terrific transition.
Well, we haven't
The
really...
kick out, the Chad Corns kick didn't look pretty off the boot, but it found Sean Burgoyne, and then his kick, the square-up kick to the leading Salter. Salter came out the back of a mix of players there that all led towards the player. He led up the middle corridor and got a beautiful pass. He's looked dangerous tonight.
Yep, he's been in good goal-kicking touch with that 5 in the SANFL last week.
From the paint. It's pretty straight. It's mighty straight. Finally, they get another. Have not kicked one since the opening term. And after a goalless second term, they get one 1 minute 50 into the third.
Well, that's a very important goal for Port Adelaide, but more the story is Mitch Clark, and we'll obviously over the next few minutes try to assess what the situation is with Mitch Clark. We spoke before the game with Michael Voss about whether Mitch Clark can actually sustain his game for the whole 4 quarters without reasonable rest. It's always going to be an issue. Looks like it's popped up now.
Once again, we see Daniel Bradshaw stationed as a loose player in defence, and Josh Drummond in the middle of the ground for the centre bounce.
We'll go down to Lee Colbert shortly.
Well, they're down to 1 man on the interchange bench at the moment, the Lions.
Brennan doing the ruck work, trying to inspire them. Brogan gets a wobble to half forward. Hawksley cuts it off, takes on the tackler, shuffles it in the Rich direction, manhandled off it. Brogan, big tackle on Riscatelli. Hawksley back into Brogan. He's a man possessed, and we'll get a ball up.
Daniel Rich has found the ball hard to get hold of tonight, just the 6 possessions for him.
Quietish last week also against the Western Bulldogs.
Brogan and Brennan again. Brennan reaches over the top. Riscatelli caught by Cassisi. Got a kick out. Power. Bounced unkindly for him. Hands off to Rich. Too wide though. Alapate Carlisle cuts it off and will head down to that boundary line to Lee Colbert.
It's been some extraordinary injuries. Boak has cut himself on the ground. We're not sure exactly where. We're going to find out whether it's a grate or something, or a sprinkler. Stiller, we know, has had a head clash. Oh, there it is, right on the fence there. He's cut himself. Merritt with a hamstring, and also Clark, well, a mystery illness at half-time. We're not sure.
I think it was one of the clips that looked to be one of the clips holding the signs on the fence. We see Drummond collected half forward. Jonathan Brown lurking. Good fist, Carlisle. Thumps it down. High kick from the boot of Sheldon. And a wide ball that almost bounces out on the full. Still in play for a second, and we'll get a ball in.
Well, it's good to see Bradshaw at least has gone back up forward, Lynchy. You wouldn't think they could come from behind and win the game with him playing loose in defence.
No, certainly not. But that Mitch Clark, if it's dehydration, the ability to rehydrate yourself from that sort of level of dehydration is going to be very slow. He'll struggle to get back out.
Sheldon right into a gang tackle. Jonathan Brown tries to break through a tackle. Bradshaw! High, not 15. Play on. Wrighton tries to tunnel his way through. Knocks it out. Sherman, McDonald, Tracker, all in there. Trying to hack it clear. Picked up by Thomas. Hands to Modlon.
Good contest.
To Travis Boak, who's back on. Hands are not quite back though. And we'll get a ball in.
It's Jacob Surgeon that's done the good job on Daniel Rich. 7 possessions to him. Surgeon's had 16 himself.
23 points to margin. If you joined us late, Port Adelaide led by 47. Boak. Roden. Edith. Bouncing ball unkind. Surgeon tracking it down. Ebert. Little push to the back. No free. Crowd wanted it. Play on advantage regardless. McGrath short. Ball dropped and picked up in the end by Polkinghorne. Handball out to Power. He's got Riscatelli central, and Riscatelli can go. Hawksley shoots it wide to Brennan. Chip wide from Brennan. Here's to Brown. And Jonathan Brown will line up.
Nice use of the ball. Jared Brennan got out into space and good use across the ground for the Brisbane Lions to get it to Brennan, and just had enough time and space to put it out in front of Jonathan Brown, which we haven't seen much tonight. He's been very well held, but on that occasion just got out some clear space and nice pass.
This kick to bring it back to the half-time margin of 17 points.
Does like to arc out onto his right boot and bring the ball back right to left.
Takes the deep breath. Does what Jason said he would do. Does what the crowd wanted him to do. 17 points.
Well, that returns to status quo after the Nick Salter goal got Port Adelaide off and running in the third term. Jonathan Brown answers. They worked it well. And good option by Hawksley. Hasn't disposed the ball well by foot, so he found Jarrett Brennan in space. And it was a good pass to the leading Jonathan Brown, but most importantly for Brisbane, a good finish from Brown who gets his third.
Beaten early, Jonathan Brown, by Alapate Carlisle. Just served to rattle his cage. There is the story when he was a kid in Warrnambool. His parents left him in the lounge room with the dog, and they started to get worried and heard a scream from the dog. He'd bitten it.
Dwayne, surely that's favourite.
That is absolutely true.
You've made that up, Dwayne.
The dog gave him a little one, and Jonathan Brown gave him a bigger one back.
Disposal count heavily in favour of the Brisbane Lions. 25-13 for this term.
Power. 70 plays 53. Austin. Hawksley. That's a good grab.
Good strong man.
McDonald just beyond his range, and here's the man that was bitten.
Now, how does he go moving the ball left to right, Lynch?
That's not his natural shape. He's certainly a right to left kicker.
Because if he runs out to the right from this angle, he's going to be aiming virtually outside the point post, out on the full, and then have to try and hook the ball back.
Yeah, this one's always a reasonable chance just to drift across the front of the goals and miss to the left. But Jonathan Brown, he knows the dimensions of this ground. He knows how to kick the ball. He might even set this up for a little fade, maybe.
Well, it's a great shot of the run-up with the cameras behind him, and you'll see exactly the angle that he does tend to run into. He goes right of his target, so he'll start heading towards the outside of that behind post.
Not bad.
And do that.
He's got 4, and he's starting to bite back.
It's an extraordinary kick. He lined up outside the point post. He was running out towards out of bounds, Richie. That's a bloke that knows where he's kicking the footy, because it is not a textbook runner.
No, it wasn't, but it's a man also that's just starting to get a handle on the game, just working into the game nicely. He's found some space on the lead. His shot's on goal. He's absolutely flushed and hit in the middle of the boot from long range.
Listen to the crowd. 4 straight for Jonathan Brown. A couple of weeks ago, he kicked 0-5. 5 misses in the draw against the Bombers. Laid into the ruck against Brennan. Laid with the palm down. Boak ran into a gang tackle. Kane Corn short Salter.
Well, that might be 50 if he doesn't get back on the mark. Good use there. The telling contest is going to be Brennan against Brogan and Lade, and Brennan obviously is the second stringer, will just pinch hit when Mitch Clark's off the ground. They have no other options. Daniel Merritt would be probably the next option, but he's off the ground injured, and they'd be reluctant to put Jonathan Brown into the ruck.
Kick one from here moments ago. Peels that back superbly. Pressure kick that. Back to 17 points.
Outstanding work in the centre. There's good clearance there, good use of the ball into the forward 50. Great answer from Port Adelaide that the Brisbane Lions have dominated possession. Just see here in the scrimmage the ability to get the ball forward, and probably a little lucky to get it to Corns, but Corns, there was no luck in that disposal. Just a short pass, just in nicely, hit the target, and Salter again kicks his third.
Mitch Clark back out from the Brisbane rooms, and he looks rehydrated. There was a time here at the Gabba where the Brisbane Lions used the intravenous drips at half-time to rehydrate players. Those days no longer allowed.
No, you're not allowed to. You can't do it during the game. I think if you're that stage dehydrated, you can't go back on the ground.
Do you think they've used it tonight? Johnston short.
You're a brave man that suggested that, Dwayne.
Kane Corns, well, they're not allowed to.
That's why I'm not going to suggest it, but gee, he looks good running around the boundary.
Well, if it's a medical emergency, I'm sure they're allowed.
Yeah, you're
He
allowed
just won't
to.
be allowed to come back on.
That's correct.
Stewart
Well, then he wouldn't be running up and down the boundary line.
will be showing support. Thomas.
I wouldn't think they'd be risking that.
No.
So what do you think? They gave him a banana.
There's no doubt they've pumped some fluids, some tablets, and maybe some other forms of sustenance into him, but all legal.
Yes,
it looks
exactly.
to have worked.
Carlisle. Pierce.
And we just clarified those intravenous drips. It was water that was going in.
Saline, wasn't it?
Saline solution.
Shaney's still at back, boys, which is a remarkable effort just running to the ground.
Pierce towards Surgeon. Too wide. Out in the full. Travis Johnston's ball.
Well, that's good news for Shaney Stiller to be up and going.
There's a good kick.
Good ball, that. And Redden is away. Power's calling for it long. Little more central. Toby Thurston stood in the hole.
Just wasn't a good kick again into the attacking 50. It was unfortunate, but Jack Redden couldn't get the purchase on the ball he needed.
Chad Corns to Modlop to Treadray. Doesn't get to him. Austin cuts it off. Just game number 5 for Matt Austin tonight. Replaced Tim Notting in the lineup. You heard the play on call. McDonald called into it by Rich. Harding. Chip kick. Misses Bradshaw. Carlisle tries to cut it off. Surgeon dives in. Bradshaw with him. Pierce. Slick. Carlisle over the top. Boak got his arms free. Got a handle but missed Roden.
Lucky to get
Good
Roden.
collision there. McDonald. Sean Burgoyne. Thrown up to Harding. Hands it off to Rich. Lions have a spark. Rich sends it long. Powers down there. Can't get back. It rolls home.
He's kicked that from 10 metres in the square.
We're just talking before half-time how Daniel Rich hasn't had a massive influence on the game and certainly didn't have a big game last week against the Western Bulldogs.
How far
Whenever
is
he
this
gets
going,
the ball in the forward half, he's a chance. That's 75 metres.
It has to be. I mean, it's bounced through, but
It has.
he's kicked it from 75 metres out.
It's a very penetrating kick. As we said there a few weeks ago, when the NFL kicking scouts were out here, they saw him as the #1 target.
Pick 7 in last year's draft, Daniel Rich. If they did that draft over again, he'd either be picked 1 or picked 2 behind Nat Nui. From the ball up, big leap from Brendan Lane. They need that. Modlop, Hartlett, Logan, Pierce.
Clark's back on the ground in the ruck.
Even. Hands off to Salter. Shrugs a tackle. Chips the ball. Pick up half volley from Sean Burgoyne. Inside the 50. Pass target was Hartlett. Missed it. Roden pushed off it. Well played by Rich. Ball still in dispute. Ebert's got it. Threw it away. Good tackle. Ball still in the middle. Brisbane Lions players coming from everywhere. Drag down and get a ball up. So Clark into the ruck for this ball up.
Still back on the ground. Just clarify also that rule, and you probably know better than me, Jason. It is 20 minutes that you have to be off the ground once the stretcher comes on. So Shane Stewart obviously spent the 20 minutes of game time off the ground, and now he's able to return.
Roden tracks it down, caught, slips the tackle, chips the kick. Cracker. Maybe just beyond his little leg.
He is such a hard man to tackle, David Roden.
Hands it off to Modlop.
Sure.
Well, he's launched a couple from here. That's from downtown. Clark gets back. Kick not so good, but at least he's back on.
He is, but Mark Williams will be a little disappointed at the fact that there was no Port Adelaide players within 15 metres of that goal line when Mitch Clark took the uncontested mark.
Lade and Clark in the ruck. Pierce couldn't collect it. Lade lays the tackle. And the umpire, Ray Chamberlain, says, I'll have it.
Shaney Stewart.
Oh, that's silly. That's silly. High contact against Mitch Clark.
Gee.
He's tried to be physical all night with the ruckman, and he just pushed him. There's nothing wrong with pushing him away if he's in your face, but you can't make high contact to the throat or the face. Have a look at this. He retaliates, and often it's the retaliator that gets caught. He just grabs him by the neck and pushes him away. There's not much in it, but that's what the umpire saw, and they protect a player's head and neck region.
Yeah, as soon as you touch someone above the shoulders, you're going to be in strife.
From outside 50, Brendan Lake gets onto this and squeezes it in.
Clark's following him.
17 points again.
We've seen Brendan Lade in the first half be the designated kicker from outside 50. I understand why. We see the free kick here. Lade has initiated it.
Yeah, he bought it. He did nothing worse than what Lade did to him.
Experienced campaigner, just getting into their head. And as we've spoken about so much in the first half, Clark is going to be worn down by the two big ruckmen from Port Adelaide. Just got sucked in by the experienced All-Australian ruckman on that occasion, Brendan Lade.
You said it, Lynchy. Experienced, 33 years of age. Original zone selection in Port Adelaide's inaugural year. Brendan Lade. It's over to Brogan against Clark.
Well, it's 5 free kicks against Mitch Clark tonight.
And he jumps into Brogan and Brogan into him.
He hasn't backed off at all there.
Logan met high, another free. 17 points the margin. It was 47. Cassisi to Boak. Worried out of it and then worried into it. Short pass, Treadray! Played for 50, didn't get it.
I thought Daniel Bradshaw was going to swallow up Travis Boak. And in the end, he just pushed him past the other Brisbane player that was going to confront him, and he ran straight into the path of Warren Treadray. Have a look at this. He fumbles, but just as he goes to pick it up, he pushes him, straightens him up. Out comes Warren Treadray. He has kicked beautifully tonight. Treadray.
This will be the first time Port Adelaide's kicked back-to-back goals since the opening term. He gives it some sky and sails it through. He's got 4, 51 for the season, 251 now for his career.
And that takes a bit of a sting out of the comeback, doesn't it?
Well, it does. The comeback started really well. Just see that probably should have been a tackle from Daniel Bradshaw. But the start of this term, the Brisbane Lions dominated possession, but Port Adelaide have been able to fight back in the last 5 minutes, and they lead the possession count 48-44. And we've seen so many good kicks from Port Adelaide from outside 50, been able to convert.
4 goals for Warren Treadray. Port Adelaide 14 goals, all to the one end. The Brisbane chant rings around the Gabba. Clark jumps into Brogan, gets the palm to Riscatelli. Hands off to Power. High kick. Bradshaw. Good rise, and Thurston's fist just as good. Cracker gets a little shepherd. Handball a little wobbly. Kane Corns back to Cracker. Poke pass perfect. Brogan, oh, it was too easy. Don't argue on Travis Johnston. Gets out of trouble. Kane Corns, it opens up for Boak.
Well, they spread him wide.
Chaplin thumps a long ball in the Ebert direction. He had to motor, and he got there.
Too many Brisbane players haven't perfected the tackle that's been needed. On that occasion, it was Travis Johnston. He had Dean Brogan. Brogan just shrugged him off, gave the ball away, and then Chaplin ends up hitting a target inside the attacking 15. Sometimes it's a simple missed tackle further afield that costs you a goal.
Well, the last two kicks on goal have come from tackles from the Brisbane Lions.
Yep.
Ebert had 6 disposals. Hasn't scored yet tonight.
Didn't kick a goal last week either. Oh, coat of paint in that.
He said it shaved the post. I thought he just snuck it in at the end.
Well, he's in the right position, you think.
Oh, yeah, glanced it. Great positioning by the goal umpire and a terrific decision.
I think he had his ear up against the post, the goal umpire. He heard that. Johnston. 20 minutes gone. Third term. We're at time on. Spoyle took the arms. Sherman's ball. Into the 22nd minute of this third term. It was a long first half. This will be a long term as well. It'll be 30 minutes plus. Sherman heads wide. Harding, the stretch, the gather, the run, the pass. Jonathan Brown waits under it. Chad Corns runs through the tackle. Hands it off. Chaplin, Cracker, He's the go-to man. He's the delivery boy. And he delivers to Thomas. Pearce having a good night at the office again, Daniel Pearce.
Get it back here.
Possession 14.
And again, you'd suggest.
Thomas thought about it. Now he sells the dummy to Sherman. He might go all the way. Throws it up high. Modlop. He's the leaper. Big fly. Couldn't bring it down. Austin. Did he drop that or handball? A good tackle. Power. Sends it wide. Up against the boundary line. Gets away with it. Red and short. Sherman.
He needs to move it quickly.
Well,
a couple of times he's got it, Justin Sherman, and just stopped.
He's in no rush at all.
This isn't helping Brisbane at all. But he is covering some ground, Justin Sherman.
Brennan. Patful. McGrath. Logan gets back. Fantastic mark.
That's a good mark. Good courage from Logan as well to go back with the flight.
Made it tough for Clark. Oh, he's equal to it. Just misses Black with the pass. Splendid mark for Surgeon. This game is rising a gear with each passing quarter. Pearce, 7th versus 9th on the AFL ladder. Port Adelaide playing to be inside the 8 tonight. Brisbane Lions trying to hunt down a home final in the first week of the finals. 5th or 6th is theirs for the taking. Salter.
Taking their time up this far or near wing. Port Adelaide just hitting targets.
Been a very good contributor, Nick Salter. 3 goals, 8 or 9 possessions.
Straight through the hands of Brogan. Roden pushed Rich in the back a little. And now he's over it. Dead!
Oh, you can't do that.
Pinged him there. Brogan's dropped 2 absolute puds in that position on the wing in the last 5 minutes.
Pearce turns it over to Ladesbank Clark.
I'm just not sure. Here's the drop mark. You look at Daniel Rich gets pushed forward. The ball just lands in his hands as he rolls over. What's he supposed to do?
And Dean Brogan had the art of just jamming it against his chest and holding it in there, so there was no chance.
I just think that's harsh on Daniel Rich. Didn't do anything wrong.
Riscatelli got it from McDonald, gives it to Clark. Forced to wait a while. Took a half step. It was a netball step, not play on. Pops it up wide. Arm slap, free to Sheldon.
They're just starting to clamp down on that tactic at the moment. The umpires, 2 arm slaps have been paid in the last 5 minutes.
Margin right now, 24 points. Over the head of Harding, straight to Kane Corns. Ran into trouble. Surely holding the ball.
Had to be.
Had his prior opportunity. Power gets it regardless. Turns it over the lane. Gives to Kane Corns. Over to Carlisle. Little fumble. Well played Drummond to Power. Redden inside 50. Brogan gets back in the hole. He marked that one. Hartland.
With some numbers running here.
Not a lot to go too long.
He just doesn't have to kick it. He just carries it and dishes it off.
Chad Corns back to Hartland. They've worked that pretty well. Now he has Treadray. He's got 2 to beat Treadray. Can't beat them both. Clark was one of the 2. Waiting down, gives to Power. He'll have to work to get this. Both of them are spent. Kane Corns spent. Power spent. They both run to the wing. And everybody can take a breath here. Redden.
There's a few players out there that want to take a breath.
Oh, Harding, Hawksley.
That's
turnover again. Surgeon. Treadray's got no one to go to, Roden. He'll have to carry it all the way. Has a bounce. Thinks about giving it up. Oh, it's gone.
Great chase. Sherman, that is brilliant.
Roden thought about giving it off, but he didn't know that Sherman was on his tail. And Sherman just winds down the clock again. But great chase from Sherman.
Rich towards Jonathan Brown. Big fist, Carlisle. And he gets a pat on the head from Chad Corns. Jonathan Brown barking instructions.
Still going to be a massive task on Mitch Clark. He's trapped at the other end of the ground as we see this great spoil. It's just going onto the chest of Jonathan Brown. Mitch Clark is 70 metres from this contest.
Riscatelli got it away, but to Surgeon. Hacks it out of his area. Makes it Sean Burgoyne's problem. Good gather. Hugs the line. In fact, kicks across on the full.
And on that, I think you can be reasonably sure that Jonathan Brown will just do all the forward half ruck work and just allow Mitch Clark to sit behind the play.
I think they need to close this margin by another goal before three-quarter time, Brisbane. If they're going to be a chance of running over the top of Port, they need another one.
Port Adelaide haven't kicked a goal to the end. They'll be coming home too. Clark. Still up. So the two injured boys back on. Feed it to each other. Good to see them back on as well. Gee, turnover here. Pat full. Sat on him. Tackled. Redden tries to mop up his mess. Does. Gets the free.
Lucky to get away with that one.
Did their best to make a mess of it, didn't they?
Tried to turn over. Mitch Clark just camped back here again. It'll be used for the switch.
26,437 here on the edge of their seats. McGrath thought about going long. Goes to Bradshaw on 50.
Right on his range.
Good use there. You look like Ash McGrath was just going to tee this one up and have a crack at the goal, but saw Daniel Bradshaw just peeling to his right. It's Ash McGrath's right, and this is within his range.
Gives it a long roost. Boy, that was beautiful to watch.
Got that one off the boot to do a little bit of both ways. It was right to left to halfway and then just faded back beautifully and dropped to the right. And that was some useful work there. They've been trying extremely hard here, the Brisbane Lions, and they've fought back. They've answered the challenges again from Port Adelaide. Still just concerned that they may struggle with their rotations with Merritt being off the ground and just the workload that Mitch Clark has to carry. But they're hanging in there. 18 points they trail by.
Margin at half-time was 17 points. Right now, it's 18.
Well, Lee Colbert asked Michael Voss before the match started, are you worried about the lack of forward options? He said, well, if Bradshaw and Brown keep kicking their 8 or 10 between them, we're normally okay. They've now got 8. They've got 4 apiece, but they're still trailing.
Late on the palm down to McGrath. Quick off the square. Caught by the shorts. Gets it off to Harding. Heads wide. Bradshaw got there.
That's a beautiful kick at full pace, Scott Harding.
Now this one might be a metre too. Oh, actually he's bringing him back inside 50, so just bring Daniel Bradshaw within his range.
And he does get them to fade left to right at the end of the kick. He can kick it long. We just saw the last one had a little left to right tail on the end. Can he do it again?
For number 5.
Oh, that's a shot.
To helicopter. And thumped through by Lade.
He'd struggle to claim that one if it went through, but did a bit of everything. But that was certainly right the left copter coming in towards the goal line. But certainly the ball movement's been very handy going into the forward half of the Lions just over the last 5 or 10 minutes.
They're inside 3 kicks. I think if they can maintain that to three-quarter time, they'll have a fair degree of confidence that they can get back and win.
Fist down. Thomas missed the target. Poke, little fumble, boundary line, and it was out.
They're still going to require some midfield goals. I mean, Bradshaw and Brown, they are kicking their goals, that's for sure, but just to pinch one off a Luke Power, maybe a McGrath off half-back, a Drummond, that man there, Daniel Rich.
So Merritt gone for the night. Bradshaw, fist from Thurstons and then a little knock on. Chad Corns, toe punch. Sheldon gets it towards Redden, has the shot, misses everything. And that's a win for Brisbane. They'll get a ball in.
They're better the ball in than the behind there. They create another opportunity. It's a good little option just to kick off the ground to the player that was a little bit ahead of the contest in space.
Clark and Lade. Lade wins with a fist. Straight to Travis Johnston. Has the shot from the pocket. Misses.
That's the one you're talking about, Lynchy. The midfield goal. Travis Johnson had an opportunity. He had time. That would have made it something very, very good for Brisbane going into three-quarter time in terms of momentum, and I think it would have put a lot of doubt in the minds of Port Adelaide, but just wasn't able to finish.
Well, speaking of doubt, the Brisbane Lions haven't won for the past 3 weeks. 2 losses and a draw, and Port Adelaide's only won 3 of the last 9. Both these teams have some doubts about themselves. 16 points the margin. Michael Voss waiting for his three-quarter time address. Salter.
Well,
50.
Justin Sherman still hasn't heard him. He said 3 metres about 4 times, and Sherman never moved.
He's blaming the coach actually there, boys. The coach was yelling in his ear and he couldn't hear.
Yeah, well, everybody needs someone to blame.
Doesn't pay to blame the coach, though. You can find someone with a little bit less experience and a little bit less power around the club.
You're better off just claiming you had a wax build up in your ear.
Salter puts it high. Treadray stands under it. Modlock bumped, and that's a good grab by Brennan.
Well, not such a good kick.
Surgeon with the fist. Ebert, half a shepherd, gets caught. Brilliant tackle. And McGrath with the reward here. 1 minute 12 left on the clock. Numbers in the middle. Rich.
Great kick.
Kicked an 80-metre goal earlier this term. Hands it off. Brennan sees Bradshaw. Sends it long. Thurston's with him. Well played, Thurston's. Travis Johnston pounces. The whipping boy falls. Gets up.
Oh, he missed it.
The whipping boy misses.
Can you believe that? 2 opportunities in the last minute, Travis Johnston, and he's missed them both.
Yeah, went to ground, which was going to be a massive problem for him.
Then he had the option, do I kick it or do I handball it?
Oh, he had to kick it. He's the one to kick it.
Look at Daniel Bradshaw, he's going, oh my goodness.
I had to take the kick, but
what he had
just
to do,
called it.
he had to kick it up high, steeply, very quickly because he had a man in front of him. But he had to kick the goal.
Stunned silence here.
No, 15 they've called.
Thurston's caught.
Gone. Now, can they get the goal that they've been pushing for? It's Michael Riscatelli.
Have another look at this handball shortly. See if it was a handball or a throw. Riscatelli.
He's played dropping the ball. Difficult kick for Riscatelli.
This will bring the margin inside 10 points.
As you can see, it's not a deep pocket.
The seconds roll down. Kicks to the near side a little. It's a 9-point game.
Well, they deserved that goal, Brisbane. They've been pressing for the last couple of minutes. They've had a couple of gilt-edged opportunities in the end. Here's the tackle from Riscatelli. And he traps the arm before the left hand. Oh, Toby Thurston reckons he got the left fist on it. He may have.
I reckon he did.
But benefit of the doubt to the tackler on that occasion. They were due I think they were due a stroke of luck, Brisbane. And they got it.
They got a lucky break at the stroke of half-time, the Lions, with a mark that wasn't paid to Port Adelaide. They got a lucky break there on the stroke of three-quarter time. Time enough only for a ball up here, you would think.
Daniel Bradshaw heading down into defence.
And Sheldon.
Needing to bother.
Three-quarter time at the Gabba. Don't touch that dial. 14-5, 89. Brisbane 12-8, 80. Trying to create history to come from 47 points down to win. Three-quarter time at the Gabba, and it would be Brisbane Lions' second biggest comeback ever. They come back from 47 points down after Port Adelaide had a 10-goal opening term. It's now a 9-point lead to the Power, and it's anybody's game. Few on the sidelines injured, might not be able to take part in this final term. We'll head downstairs to Lee Colbert, who's got the injury rap. Welcome back, Lee.
Thanks, Dwayne. Yeah, well, injuries have been everywhere for the Brisbane Lions tonight. They seem to have them sorted out, though. Daniel Merritt is now, he's the only casualty so far. They've got a full book other than him. But for Port Adelaide Power, Roden is the one that looks a little bit tender with his right groin. But the Brisbane Lions that quarter are outstanding. 16-8 inside 50s. And Mitch Clark, who looked wobbly at halftime, he certainly had a reasonable quarter, 7 possessions. So he was quite good. This is where it all happened, though. At halftime, he came out, did the warm-up, started to feel a bit crook, and now you see him come off with the club doctor, and he's in a lot of trouble there. Think fatigue at this stage, haven't been able to get anything, but certainly he wasn't a well boy for the first 5 minutes of that quarter. But then he came out, had 7 possessions, and had an impact playing across half-back. So a big quarter coming up, boys, and momentum's a huge thing, as Jason pointed out at the top of the show.
These two teams could meet back here in 2 weeks, in the first week of the finals.
Well, that's about the third time we've seen Jonathan Brown putting a jumper on.
Just sweats up a little bit. Big Brownie, so he gets the fresh jumper. Just whacking the GPS system back in the top there, it looked like. Just to track his distance that he covers each game, which is right up there. As we said, the last 2 games, 15 and 16 kilometres.
And there's David Roden on the bench for Port, as Colby just tells us, having a few issues with the groin. They'd love to have his run out there in the last term.
9 points the margin.
They'll be looking for the first goal. Port Adelaide just keep the crowd out of this equation. Brisbane Lions get on a roll. It'll be hard for Port to shut them down. We know last week Port Adelaide come off a terrible last quarter where they conceded 6 goals, scored 0 themselves. So they want to perform a little bit better than that.
Port Adelaide would be inside the 8 tonight with the Bombers. They play Fremantle tomorrow. If they win, the Brisbane Lions will be closer to a home final. We're underway, final term. Cassisi runs in hard off the square. Power tracks it down, dispossessed. Cracker sighs his way through the middle, spears it over the head of Ebert. And the mark
that should be
to
50.
Stiller.
It should have been 50.
Was it in the marking contest?
Ebert knocked the ball out of his hands after he took the mark.
That seemed like an obvious decision. Thurston's the loose man defence for Port Adelaide. Rich likewise for Brisbane Lions.
Pearce overcommitted. Rich short. Power thumps it along. Bradshaw's down there. Brown's down there. They collide. Chaplin.
Oh, Brown is down.
Thomas, Logan, Chad Corns. Brown slowly getting up. Tretre on the move. Bouncing ball. Patfield beats him to it.
Brown's
high
in trouble.
kick. Brogan takes the mark.
He's out, Brown. Jonathan Brown, he can't stand up. He's been knocked out.
Big hit from Daniel Bradshaw, jumped over the top of the pack. So often we see Jonathan Brown.
Oh, the head hit the deck too, and he was out.
It's coming back in his direction, though. Redden about to thump it inside 50. Short to Polkinghorne. Throws the handball out.
He's pushing the trainers away.
High. Brown's down there. Brown and Carlisle. He's almost marked that at his legs.
Love to see the replay
Well,
of
he was
this.
trying to push the trainers away and say, let me go, I'm good to go, but he can't be too good.
It's a Carlisle trying to pick him up there.
It was.
He gets crunched once there, and then the head hits the deck.
Takes it out of the ruck. Can't get a kick away. And not dragged through for a behind by Surgeon.
Oh, is that deliberate?
He should have.
Yep. He paid deliberate.
Redden. Johnston.
You have to say there wasn't a lot of doubt about that one.
To pull it back to 3 points.
Well, he can redeem himself here, Travis Johnson. He missed a couple late in the third turn. A big kick here. It's going to take a beauty, but if he can do something here and get the momentum going Brisbane's way, he's trying to identify someone for a lead. There it is. See, that was clever. He just kept holding it and holding it. He kept waving at players to come at him, because every time a player moves, it creates a space. And if that player keeps moving, he draws an opponent out. Someone else can hop into the space, and in the end, it's young Jack Redden.
Not sure he's had a bigger kick as this
Too
in
easy,
his short
though,
career.
from Port Adelaide defensive point of view.
Yep.
It's about to hit up a player inside 50 with a short pass like that.
Game number 7. He's kicked 3 goals this year. Steadies himself. Gorgeous. The crowd rise. and it's down to 3 points.
Well, they keep answering the challenges after that abysmal first term. Just have a look here. That is just a lapse in concentration from the Port Adelaide defence. Redden just wandered into some space there and was found by the Travis Johnson pass. And the ability to go back and convert was very important at this stage of the game. The crowd are getting involved. Brisbane Lions 3 points down and making a surge.
Two Glenelg boys side by side, Jack Corns and Jack Redden, and Jonathan Brown up and okay.
Have a look at him getting up though. Have a look at him. Whoa, cannot quite get my balance. The trainers had to steady him. The question is, we know he's brave. We get a recalled bounce here. He's going to stay out there. Can he have an impact? Can he actually get hold of it and kick a goal? And imagine if they can hit the lead, Brisbane, bring the crowd into it. There will be an almighty roar if they kick the next one.
They've never been in front tonight, the Lions. Port Adelaide kicked the first 4 goals of the game. Kasisi manhandled a bit high there. Well, it was high or holding, one of the two. And the umpire says, no, not holding the ball, not high, I'll ball it up. 89 to 86. Umpire throws it in the air. Brogan.
Oh, great tap.
Out to Pearce in space. Ebert short. And he lets it slip. Ball to the back. Ebert trying to gather. Had it, lost it, got it. They've got him. The tackle from Stiller. Off on the stretcher earlier. Shaney Stiller.
Looking for the spectator here, trying to take a hanger off the fence and put it down.
The big fella.
And away you go, son.
Might cop a little fine for that one.
From the ball in. Pearce throws out the handball. McGrath got a shepherd from Rich. Back inside. Stiller bumped. Rich had taken the game on. Power. Little poke pass.
Interesting.
Redden missed it. Jack Corns manhandled. Gets the free.
They had the numbers, but they messed it up, Brisbane.
Just that short one into the corridor and missed the target. Massive chance of a turnover on that occasion.
Boak.
Massive players back for the Brisbane Lions. They have 15 players behind the ball.
Kasisi. And more Lions players flood back.
Port Adelaide have got to move. They've got to move in their forward 50.
To the pocket to Salter.
That's a strange place to kick the footy.
It is. It's not even to a dangerous spot. It's where the Brisbane Lions would have been very comfortable for the ball to go.
Although Port Adelaide have beaten the Brisbane Lions at the clearances the last 4 times they've played them. So maybe they believe that a ball in is a good opportunity to score from.
Well, if that's what he was thinking, very good.
So kick one here. It's wisdom beyond your years, Dwayne. I will bow to you straight away.
It's just the assistant coach is telling me exactly what they normally try to do. Black. It is part of their game plan. Jack Corns missed it. McGrath doesn't. Good handles inboard to Travis Johnston. Jonathan Brown. Oh, he ran back to the square and Carlisle ran out the ball. He's free, Alapate. Doesn't know where to go. Thurstons. He's got Kasisi short. Needs to be good with the kick. It's poor. McGrath tracks him down. Hands it up. Back to Carlisle. Twists into it. Good commitment. Sheldon takes it out.
Jonathan Brown just waves the arm and apologises. He misread what Travis Johnson was going to do with the kick, but that's going to raise another question mark about, is he able to read the play? Is he able to get it and do something with it?
McGrath had it, tackled, dropped it. Brogan strips it, then can't pick it up, and Riscatelli takes it out.
He's been good, Brogan. Had the 20 disposals, kicked the 1 goal. Very fierce contest with Mitch Clark all night.
Brogan shields Clark from the ball, knocks it down. Cracker slipped through his grasp, as it does for Power. Ball in. Matthew Primus. Mark Williams, Tony McGuinness, far left.
Dangerous for Port Adelaide. Sheldon's in the centre corridor by himself. Chad Corns actually wandering across to pick him up now, but he was left alone for a long time.
Kane Corns on tap on by Pearce. Kasisi. Over the head, Fred Ray, almost Rich. Nearly took the mark, then dropped it as he was tackled. No prior opportunity. Salter lays the tackle. Still in there in the middle of it. Ball up.
Hasn't seen him himself in that position too much, Daniel Rich, but just been floating across half-back, and that was a reasonable jump, just didn't finish it off.
Free kick to Brisbane. Play on advantage, Travis Johnston. And it wasn't advantage at all. Red missed it. Thurstons, Boak, Pearce, Boak. Straight through traffic, might go the way. He wobbles it to the pocket. Sean Burgoyne.
What's this one, Dwayno? Bread and butter, you'd think?
Jack Redden's hurt himself behind plays. He went for that diving chest mark. Needed to take it, but he's landed awkwardly. He's in some real difficulty.
Well, he's almost in the gutter.
The classic banana, left foot around the corner of the banana.
Banana regulation goal.
Doesn't look confident, does he?
Oh, he's let me down. I've seen him over the years kick some magnificent goals. Always going to be a massive ask from there.
Crowd a little hushed again. Ball to the outer side. Long launch toward Jonathan Brown, misses him again.
It was a poor kick, that one.
So Port Adelaide might come to the open side here. Carlisle looks up.
They want the corridor.
And forced to go wide. Chaplin takes on Jonathan Brown. Just a little chip kick for Ebert, makes it tough for him. Turns on Hawksley, kicks it high. Logan 2 to beat, big grab.
That's great, strong hands.
And plays onto the pocket. Sean Burgoyne again. This time Drummond thumps it out.
That was a good mark from Tommy Logan. Big floater from Ebert from centre wing, and jumps and took the high ball in the hands. Just Burgoyne couldn't get on the end of the pass.
Clark doing some ruck work. Drummond, McDonald, Power, smothered by Pearce, close to the line. This is the finals preview. These two teams tracking towards September. But Port Adelaide lose tonight. They can almost kiss September goodbye. Back into play. Lade thumps it down. Cassisi, Sean Burgoyne, high kick. Treadray lurking. Brennan, he was under it but missed it. Off the deck, kick toward goal, and Salter can't kick the goal, and it's a 5-point game.
Just dropped the chest mark there, Jared Brennan. I thought he was going to mop things up.
Hawksley.
Inside 50s, 7-2 in favour of Adelaide, Port Adelaide in this quarter. Just not making the most of their opportunities so far.
Rich, almost a turnover. Austin dived in, Hardlet with him. McGrath moves past a couple and has Brown in the square. Jonathan Brown, Bradshaw, Brown, they collide again. Bradshaw tucked into the pocket, back to Brown, gets past one, not another. Trouble behind. It won't be deliberate.
Gee, the heat's on.
Heat is on.
Absolutely.
Ashley McGrath was desperate for either Brown or Bradshaw to lead. He was desperate for someone to run at him. In the end, he just had to go long to the contest.
Just probably needed a little bit of protection, Jonathan Brown, on that occasion. Had his player out of position.
Logan wide. Pearce. And now Motlop in a one-on-one. Fist knocks it down. Rich had it, dropped it, played for the free, didn't get it. Ball still alive in Boak's hands. Tries to shrug. No prior opportunity. Ebert, Kane Corns, short. Thomas. And now Lade, who can kick a long ball. Being tracked down. Gives it some air.
Well,
and kicks it behind.
There was a good chase from Travis Johnson that made him hurry the kick. He was just licking his chops, Brendan Lade. In space, he would have waltzed to 50, settled himself and bombed away. But he had to kick it a lot quicker than he wanted to.
He loaded up
Travis
too.
Johnston.
He did load up. That was going up on the first tier. Good zone in place from Port.
Oh, how's that for a kick?
Straight down the middle to Sherman. Patful. They can take the lead here, the Lions. Riscatelli, for the first time tonight, the Brisbane Lions lead.
Two of the best kicks you'll see in that passage of play. The first one from Josh Drummond. He played on from fullback, and it looked like he was going wide to the flank, and then kicked across his body to find Sherman. But then the kick from Patful, it looked like he had handball options, even though Riscatelli dropped the mark. He didn't have to break stride. It was a beautiful kick from Patfull as well that released Riscatelli, and he now kicks his third, and the crowd are up.
Bit happier up there in the box compared to the first quarter. Riscatelli has been pushed forward for this game, probably a negating job mainly for most of the game on Chad Corns, and he's been able to kick goals now into the midfield.
It'll be their biggest ever comeback against Port Adelaide and their second biggest ever here. From 47 points down, they lead by 1. Kane Corns, wide ball, Logan, Rich, good race. Ball in, Lee Colbert.
Just update you on Simon Black. He's actually come off the ground limping and had his legs strapped. So the Brisbane Lions, geez, they've had some work done on the boundary line tonight, the physios and docs.
Yep, with a walking wounded Brisbane, that makes them even more courageous win if they can get over the line.
Roden, poke, little fumble, Cassisi out of play. And the uncertainty in Port Adelaide's game creeping back.
And we've forgotten over the last hour about the guy at home with 200 large on this game.
Oh, he's feeling crook unless he laid off, as Dwayne told him.
Clark knocks it down. Harding gets the handball up to Power. Oh, he dropped that surely into his tackle. Thomas. Ebert with the fist. Had 3 to beat. Knows it. And we'll get a ball in.
Interesting, Daniel Rich, he hasn't had much impact tonight, but they played him off half-back. Once he wasn't getting the ball in the midfield, he's gone to half-back. He's done some good things this quarter, using him to kick the ball out of defence and hit targets. Now he's had 14 possessions.
Well, he was loose back there for a few minutes. Port Adelaide recognised how dangerous he could be, distributing the ball off half-back, and put Tommy Logan down to man him up.
Pierce fisted straight to Harding. Sheldon. Hawksley on the open side. Pursued by Sean Burgoyne. Hands it off to Power in space. Lead from Bradshaw. He's got it!
Oh, nice use of the ball from Luke Power with the outside of that left foot. Hit up Daniel Bradshaw on the lead. Great pass.
See what also it was very good hands from Daniel Bradshaw, because we've seen as the night wears on, conditions have got a little bit breezy, whether it's dewy out there or whatever. We've seen a lot of players slipping over, the ball slipping through hands, but not Daniel Bradshaw. One solid grab.
He's got 4. It's bending back. He's got 5. 50 for the year, and they lead by 7.
They've come from nowhere after quarter time, the Brisbane Lions. Probably just a couple of minutes before quarter time, and they're up and going in this term. It's 3 goals, 1 to just the 3 points to Port Adelaide. The dominating inside 50s, Port Adelaide are dominating inside 50s, but the efficiency to the forward targets of Brisbane has been so much better than at the other end of the ground. Daniel Bradshaw has been absolutely on fire.
Extraordinary at the moment. They've got 6 forwards, Brisbane, and there's only 4 defenders. A 5th one now. They're still a defender short. They're waving for someone to come back.
From 47 down to 7 up.
They've got a spare forward, Brisbane, at the moment.
Clark knocks it down, but to Roden. Chad Corns. Senior players need to fire now. Lane. Lead comes from Treadray short. It's ignored. Motlop's long in the goal square. Heads wide. Treadray, boundary line. Sean Burgoyne takes on Sheldon. Kick terrible. Stiller. Not 15 as you heard. Called to play on. Shoots it wide. Redden stands under it. Full of confidence now, the Lions. Hockinghorn couldn't get there. Well played, Stewart.
That was an important ball from Stewart.
It was a very good one.
Roden, Pierce, Carlisle. Free kick, holding free off the ball. Port Adelaide's free.
They'll be happy to hold the ball up, Brisbane. They need to man up. They need to put a heap of pressure on here.
Players don't know how long left, but they can see 18 minutes gone on the scoreboard.
They've got things going their way at the moment, Brisbane, but they don't want to drop off at all.
There was very little movement. Brendan Lay was the only one prepared to run into space for Port Adelaide forward the ball on that occasion. They need to move.
Oh, good chase. Great
Jack
chase.
Barnes, caught by the jumper, gets it off to Boak.
Still no one moves.
High ball wide to Salter. Can't get a fly at it. Well played, Brennan. It's all in.
Great chase, Jack Reed. That's what you want from
Well,
your
that's
forwards.
why Chad Corns nearly got caught is he had no one in front leading into any sort of space.
Port Adelaide still have not kicked a goal to this end. Roden tracked down. A 10-goal-to-3 opening term for Port Adelaide. 47 points up. And now their season is in danger of being wiped away in the most horrible fashion possible. Sherman takes them on. Bumped off it. Boak, who's tried his heart out. Called out of play.
Well, what he did do, Sherman, is he didn't get away with it. He hit the pack at pace. He got the ball out of the defensive 50. And he worked it towards the boundary line, which enabled another stoppage to start further away from the Brisbane goal. Or the Port Adelaide goal, I should say Brisbane's defensive goal.
Free kick against Clark.
See, that's 6 or 7 of those he's given away
a few.
To Boak. Modlock can't get a run at it. Salter can. Fisted away from him. Austin. Young player, big kick.
Oh, massive kick.
McGrath.
They're on in the middle.
Hardlip. That's a good grab too.
See, they had numbers, Brisbane, but the kick went to the wrong person.
Ebert.
Just look forward to the ball here and you'll see very little movement from the Port Adelaide players.
Modlock. Fend off and a good fist. Hawksley knocks it away. The boost for Ebert being, of course, because he knocked over Shaney Stiller, but no report coming from it. And from replays, you doubt any report will come.
No.
Back into play. Brogan pursues it again. Black. We've played 20 minutes. We're ticking into time on final term. Port Adelaide's season comes down to this last 7.5 minutes. And Chad Corns preparing for one last burst. Brogan tries to burst free. Is that in the back?
Surely.
Paid earlier, not paid now. Brogan twists out of trouble. Throws it on the boot. Treadray, Motlop, they're all there. Patfull got the fist in. Treadray throws it out. Sheldon in the middle of a huddle. Picked up by Roden. Got a half a kick away. Straight to Rich. Dumps it long. Race on. Jonathan Brown and Carlisle. Carlisle might get there first. Brown pursues. Good pick up, Carlisle. Takes him on. Runs on. Shorts it. Boat gives it back. Goes for a long kick towards goal and Modlop can't mark.
That should be a free kick to Hawks there. It is.
Yeah, for holding.
I don't think, Lynchy, correct me if I'm wrong, Jonathan Brown hasn't touched the footy since he was knocked out.
No, he got a heavy knock there. We just see the free kick. Motlop's grab a handful of the jumper on Hawksley and just pulls it back. Obvious free kick. But Jonathan Brown is just off the bit at the moment.
That could have been a big point as well. It stands at 7 points right now. It would have been 6. It would have been one straight kick. Austin.
He's cramped up, Jared Brennan.
They're losing Warriors by the minute now, Brisbane. Austin thumps it long. Drummond.
Free kick
Free
there.
kick to Drummond.
And he's starting to cramp up as well. If they get to the line, the Brisbane Lions, they're only just going to stumble to the line.
Jonathan Brown sprints onto it. They can't mark
a
it.
push. See, he landed on his head again, Jonathan
Yeah,
Brown.
he's getting up very slowly.
Hardlip, almost a turnover handball. Cracker runs through traffic. Bounce pass. Brogan. Hardlip. No one to kick too long. It's all Brisbane.
He's ramped up again. Let's just have a look at this. Is there a push in the back? No, probably not. Just momentum going forward. But look at that. He lands straight on his forehead. He cannot be travelling well, Jonathan
Just
Brown.
planted the head into the hard grab of turf. Mitch Clark, he's absolutely stopped to a walk.
Too early this. There's 5 minutes left. Way too early.
I think you're actually trying to get a breath, to be honest.
Yeah, chew time off the clock when you can. But you've still got to have an out. I think they need to kick another goal to win, Brisbane.
Fist from Kane Corns. He gets all ball. Picked up by Redden, though. Did well. High kick. Bradshaw and Brown. Both down there. Neither can mark. Stewart ran into a gang tackle. Got it up. Travis Johnston. They could seal the deal here. Travis fronts back. Wobbles it to Black. Beaten by Kane Corns. And with 4 minutes 30, game still alive.
They had numbers, Brisbane too. He just couldn't find one, Travis Johnston.
Port Adelaide don't look like scoring. They
Missed
can't hit
target.
targets across half forward, and there is no one working hard in the forward half to chase or create space for their teammates. This will be their last roll of the dice here.
Harding slump. Handball up. This is an amazing turnaround, this. The Brisbane Lions on the threshold of one of their greatest ever wins. Bradshaw can't get there. He might for the crumb. Kicks around the body and can't bend it enough.
Gee, there was an interesting decision by Troy Chaplin to punch the two-fisted punch when you're in front. Why not mark the footy?
Well, it's just the pressure of the game, pressure of the moment. Had to mark it, but just wasn't aware of the space he had.
Big fist from McDonald. Travis Johnston.
Give it to
Drummond.
To seal it. Shorts it. Well, this is the kick. Port Adelaide has feared all year.
Yep.
Their season could end with McGrath's goal.
McGrath's cramping as well. Travis Johnston just gave a little wave to Josh Drummond to say, yeah, I probably should have given it to you. You're on your left, ready to launch. Ash McGrath's a fair backup plan, but the fact that he's cramping just might make the kick drop short.
Gio found it hard not to get caught up in the excitement of this game. It's been a cracker. From the moment Port Adelaide burst out of the blocks to where we are now, it's been a brilliant match.
From 48, he kicks the goal. Dreams are made of this. From 47 points down, the Lions will win.
Massive comeback, obviously the Brisbane Lions, and good kick in the end by Travis Johnston, but this is a massive comeback. 47 points down. It was 95, Jace, when you led the Hawks to that defeat. How much was that? Dwayne might have to refer to Dwayne for that one, what the margin was. It was a lot. You were in front.
Please clarify for me, Dwayne. Is this the biggest comeback, should they win the game, in the history of the club?
Biggest since yours.
No, the biggest since their 51-point comeback against your Hawthorn.
When you took him in the shade.
Yes. But it is their biggest against Port Adelaide, and Jonathan Brown might just land one more blow.
Well, he's finally got the football. It's been courageous to stay out there. He got cleaned up accidentally by teammate Daniel Bradshaw. You saw him get to his feet, nearly fall over. He had to be held up by trainers. He hasn't been able to get too involved in the play, hasn't had a possession since. But this would be oh so sweet if he can just cap things off with a goal. And I reckon if he does, there'll be a salute too.
The right arm up.
It's the one he favours.
He's got 4. This for number 5.
He's a tired man. But he'll be a very happy man. Not with the kick, but where his team's come from. Don't worry, the game's all over here.
There's the super coach.
Well, this is extraordinary. You'd think Port Adelaide be loading up the corridor and going straight down the middle, but they're in their normal setup.
Brogan stands under this. Mitch Clark from the clouds!
And he's hurt Dean Brogan too. He's jumped onto his shoulder, and that hurt the big fella. He'll love that, Mitch Clark.
I don't know what he'd be happy about, the mark or
Look
just
at the leap. The knee into the shoulder. He got hit both ways, Dean Brogan.
Outstanding. When Mitch Clark staggered from the ground at the half-time huddle.
Drummond. Brisbane Lions last game is against the Swans next week at the SCG. Port Adelaide have North Melbourne next week. Essendon, of course, in 8th spot now to play Fremantle tomorrow. 107 to 92.
Just to break down the communications between Josh Drummond and Daniel Bradshaw there, where the kick was going to be weighted to. Harding.
Black Centering kick. Carlisle tries to thump it out, but thumps it to Powell. Straight up in the air. Not 15 play on. It uses up 4 seconds. Brennan, Sheldon. Centering ball and Thurston's takes the mark. But you can't look at Port without thinking about their frailty. As a footy club, right now they're at their lowest point. Big leap. Push out to Ebert. Both these teams missed the finals last year. Brisbane finished 10th with 10 wins and Port Adelaide 13th with the 7 wins. So on that score, it's an improved season for Port Adelaide, but teams shouldn't get beaten from 47 points up.
An improved season for the Brisbane Lions. They haven't played a finals game since the 2004 grand final in which Port Adelaide won the premiership against the Lions. So they'll be very happy. They've secured a spot and they've stopped the rot with the losses.
They've got some fantastic history behind them already, the Brisbane Lions. But they're now starting to make some history under that man, Michael Voss. They will play in September. They are one step closer to a home final in the first week. They trailed by 47 in the opening term. Port Adelaide with a 10-3 opening quarter. But the Brisbane Lions up from the canvas to win by 15 in stunning style. 16-11, 107 to 14-8, 92. And those who are not standing in stunned disbelief here at the Gabba are roaring the song once again. And one of the men who helped drag them back from nowhere is with Lee Colbert.
Bizarre game, Brownie. Kicked 10 goals, 0 in the first quarter, and come back and won. Amazing effort.
Yeah, well, shell shock, you know. It's been the story of our season. Colby, starts have been terrible. And, but, you know, the game's played over 4 quarters in it, and we've gone our way back in, and it's a fantastic win.
Geez, you had some wounded players, blokes with cramp. Cheney Stiller went off, injured, Merritt gone for the day. It was a gutsy effort by the boys.
Yeah, it was. Look, the first quarter we couldn't get our hands on the footy around the middle, and then we started to win the footy back in the second quarter and just gradually grind our way back in. I suppose when you're that far behind, Colby, you can't get back into the game in one quarter. You know it's going to take the whole way, and the boys just fought it out. And we've been down over the last 2 or 3 weeks, so hopefully that'll be a bit of a character builder and sort of give us a bit of a boost along to get us back in a bit of form.
Now, you got a bit of blood on your noggin here, mate. You knocked yourself out in that last quarter. What actually happened?
I don't know. The ground's a bit hard here, I reckon. So I was a bit shook up, but just glad to get the win. I'll put that spray shot at the end down to our head knock, mate.
Exactly. Now they tell me there's a folklore story that you once bit your dog. I'm not going to. Is that true? Did you actually bite your dog in the lounge room one night?
Gubby Allen tells that story actually. So I was about 3 years old and the dog bit me. So I thought there's only one way for retribution, mate, and go straight back at it. So.
You went and bit it. Well, go and enjoy, boys. Don't go and bite me, mate. So
right, mate, good on you.
Is love too strong a word? Not here at the Gabba tonight. Jonathan Brown, the captain of the Brisbane Lions, and from the ecstasy to the agony, Mark Williams has had to face this all year. He's faced it from week to week, the up and the down. He faced it in one night tonight. Brisbane's biggest ever comeback against Port Adelaide. Their second biggest comeback of all time. Alistair Lynch and Jason Dunstall tell you more about it after this break. The Brisbane Lions by 15 points.